Night lows right around 91. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination.
Okay.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. On Fox Sports 910.
The Diamondbacks open a 6-game East Coast road trip this afternoon in Pittsburgh against the Pirates. The Cardinals continue training camp today in Glendale, and the U.S. women's basketball team is now 2-0 at the Paris Olympics. Welcome in, Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, live from Right Toyota, where you won't go wrong. It's Manuch, it's Jax. We got Shu back at the iHeart Studio. Roc will be here with us just a few minutes. Jax, y'all good to go? You get your fill of great preseason football.
Oh, my gosh,
night.
Manuch. I know Roc was kind of downplaying yesterday of that there's preseason football and it's meaningless, but it felt good to watch the pads hit. But let me tell you, Manuch, I want to talk to you because you're a guy that's been around the game way longer than I have. Opening the game up with that new hybrid kickoff.
Yes.
What was your initial take when the camera switched on and you saw no one around the kicker, and you saw 10 guys all crowded up 5 yards next to each other, and then 2 guys back to receive the kickoff?
You know what? I didn't really know what to expect to see it, full blown like that. But the one thing I liked, at least we saw a return, whether it's 15 yards or 20 yards. But it was like a little scrum going on. They're 5 yards apart. The ball gets kicked. The guys that are blocking, they run back to the kicker for about 5 yards, turn around. Here comes the other guys because you can't move until the ball's kicked. So they run, they kind of turn around, and it's just kind of, a little blocking, and he gets to the 15, the 20. I will say this. I like at least they're bringing it out of the end zone versus 18, 19% of it last year that were actually returns. So I got to tell you what, I kind of was like, okay, at some point, somebody's going to break one. But I will say this. It's going to be very difficult for anybody to break a return, I think, with everybody kind of within like 10 yards of each other. I mean, can't trap block. You got to stay above. You can't hit below the waist or anything like that. It's just like they're all there. There's all 22 guys besides the returner that are just pretty much sitting right there, and they're all right there. So it was interesting. So I watched a few times and went, at least they're returning the football, and that's the one thing.
But they didn't return it that far.
There
was like maybe one that went to like the 32 or 33, maybe in the longest.
Well, the one longest was the 23-yard line, and you can, I believe, if you down it, it goes to the 35. But you know what? I think that it's set up to incorporate the play and incorporate it back into the game. But it was just pretty much. Everybody's right there.
I understand. I think the biggest challenge they're going to have, because when the guys are lining up, there's no whistle or siren that tells them to go. And if you watch the first play of the first half, they showed one of the guys getting an extra step.
Yeah.
And they could have easily called that. And that's where it's going to be interesting when it comes down to a Super Bowl, a championship game of some sort, a playoff game, even last minute of a game, and a guy, takes a little bit of a jump start, and he gets nailed. And I don't know what that penalty is, though.
I don't know.
I didn't see any penalties last night to be able to say, it's a 10 yards, 15 yards, because these guys are trying to make a job or make a roster spot. They're busting their ass on special teams.
And you might see interesting hearing Devin Hester talk last night leading up to
we had his sound too.
And I think that it was interesting that he said, look, there'll be guys that recruit just for returning. But the other thing I look at too is it's going to be very difficult, I think, for anybody to break one all the way unless somebody just misses a block. And to your point, Roc, I think there's got to be a little bit of a grace period or a grace area that they let him go, because there's nobody moving until he kicks that football off. And you see the dead zone in green, and he catches it. And by the time, the other interesting thing, by the time the guys turn around to block, the guys have had that 10-yard head start or 5-yard head start to come down on them. So the other thing, too, is I wonder how creative special team coaches are going to get with guys coming straight down. Are they going to start looping and stunt? You know what I mean? You know, this guy's going to run here, and this guy's going to run there. Because when they turn back and run back at the returner, they turn back around, and you're picking up your guy, right? I've got number 4. I got number 5. I don't know if they're allowed to do loops and stunts or anything like that, because that would start to confuse the blockers.
I think that's going to be a lot of creativity, even with returners itself, whether they want to do a reverse or a late throw across the field. We've seen that. I remember back in the Rams days, I think it was Tavon Austin and Stedman Bailey, where it was a punt return. He was run all the way to the right, threw it backside left, no one over there. So you got that creativity, but also for the kicker too, trying to get into that landing zone, but maybe they call coffin corner where you can get some backspin, and maybe the returner has a hard time, picking up the kickoff.
It was kind of funky looking. It was, okay, I can see there wasn't really full speed. It just pretty much turn around and block. But at least the returner's got a chance to return it. I guess I like that piece of it, but it's going to be very, very difficult. And to your point too, Rock, there was 18, 20, 22-yard line. The deepest one, what might have been 30. And so from that standpoint, I don't know why they just didn't move the kickoff 5 yards back. We're going to get a running start, get a damn good return, but it's all about the safety in that particular scenario. So it was, okay, you got to return, but it's not going to be very much. Not going to return it 25, 30, 35 yards on hold.
The NFL's constantly trying to do different things, tweak things, and I wish we could just go back to kickoffs, 20-yard line, and touchbacks, and get back to the wedge busters and the guys that are running up and down, blasting people.
Sure.
That's, I think, what a lot of us sports fans want to see.
Yeah, and I think, they
not this crap. It looks like it's like, I mean, I'm fine with it. I shouldn't say crap. I'm fine with it right now. It's only preseason game 1.
It's kind of gimmicky.
That's where I was going. I was like, it's like they're
gimmicky.
practicing some play.
Yes.
And it's too XFL-ish.
Yes.
And I don't know. I think we're going to see some people really bitching about it until we get used to it. Just like everything else, it takes us. We're so used to the rules a certain way. We watch the game a certain way. Instant replay has changed the way we view things too, and we've been able to adapt to that. So we'll adapt to this.
Yeah, I think we will. I mean, like I'd said earlier that at least they got a return, but I'm like, you're right. Let's just move the kickoff back 5 yards.
Yeah, let's move the kicker back.
Yeah, move him back
and have everyone else maybe 10 or 20 yards in front.
Sure. Maybe
that way it's in play in the landing zone, and then people can still run downfield.
Yeah, and I think that it's fair for everybody. I mean, you don't want to give the advantage to the guys coming down on kickoff coverage. You want to give the guys on the kickoff return a chance. But I just think if you move that back and the ball's going to land about, anywhere from the 5 to the goal line anyway, catch it, get a return, then you're assured of he's going to probably come out to 25, 30, 35-yard line. But this was like, okay, if anybody breaks a return this year, there might be, I don't know right now, the way I watched this last night, maybe 5 returns on the year. I'd hope for more. But it looks like it's going to be very, very difficult. But I'm like, you're right, a little gimmicky. But at least they're returning the ball, so I'll tolerate it for the time being.
What do you mean the time being? It's not going anywhere. This is what we're going to face now. They're not going to change it.
Aren't they doing? It's like a 2-year window that they're testing this.
I didn't see that. Is that true?
I don't know.
Then the commentators need to let us know, because if people out there are getting pissed off and they don't like it, then at least they can.
Yeah,
at least you'd feel better knowing, okay, this is just a test.
Yeah, well,
this is a test. Do it in preseason.
I think it's a year-to-year thing. I think they're going to try it all this year.
Yes. Then the competition committee will get together and say, okay.
You know what, guys? This just doesn't work. It's almost like watching a little bit of a rugby scrum right before. It's almost like everybody gets in that huddle and the ball gets kicked and they start moving. That's how tight it was. Because even you watch the guys are setting the blocks up. The other guys, they turn around and bang, they're in their face right now. So if it's a year-to-year thing, okay, let's see how it goes this year. Then let's just go back to normal and just move the kicker back 5 yards so you're assured of a return. And if it's all about the offense, and it's the contradictions about offense and being safe. Well, folks, I hate to tell you, football's it's a very physical sport. So I think that if you want to incorporate the offense in the game and get better returns and have guys get into the 30, 35, even 40, and enhancing offense even more so, then let's go back to that. So for the time being, we deal with this.
Yeah, that is our It's Your Call question today, brought to you by State 48 Roofing. So just go to our Twitter page at Roc and Manuch. Do you like the new NFL kickoff format? Yes or no? Let's It's right up there on the site. Vote. Be curious what you think. I think it's been the conversation of all the talking heads this morning, as well as the Olympics. But yeah, I'm anxious to see how it works as we see more of it.
Yeah,
but it's kind of a bummer to see a preseason game go, get suspended then canceled. I killed it.
I was about to say what happened to the bets because the game early.
So
how does that work?
I won all my first quarter bets. I won 5 out of 6 bets. Okay, I did well, but I didn't bet $100.
You want to do the show tomorrow?
Take the points. I will, man. I did all right, but I would have lost if the game would have counted. I would have lost because I took Houston -1. So it voided. So they voided that bet.
It's a good thing.
So they had to void anything that happened after that 10-minute mark of the third quarter. They had to void. So I think they voided anything in the third quarter. But the first half, if you did quarters, which is what I did, I did. I had Houston would throw for 2 touchdowns. I got that. So who was going to score first? I had Houston scoring first. So things like that. I mean, but I'll tell you, I'm watching it at the watering hole with my buddies, and they're all like, "What are you doing, Rock?" And they're like, "It's preseason. What are you doing betting preseason?" I said,
Exactly.
Jimmy and Manuch said the same thing, but it made me interested in watching it. I mean, I was getting nervous because I had them both scoring in the first quarter. That's the only bet I lost. But I was pushing for Houston. I was pushing for the Bears. I was like, "Hey, I got nothing to lose."
Did you have an over/under of 16-play opening drive?
I had the over/under. I did have an over/under bet, but because of the game being voided,
well, that happened. I think I want to say like 30 years ago, many years ago, they had a lightning storm and rain that they canceled it. So when Howard Cosell was broadcasting many years ago, and they had lightning and thunder and all that, and they just said, "All right, that's it. We're done."
Who wrote on the lineup today? Welcome
that?
to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy.
That was
B,
me,
live from Right Total, where you won't go wrong.
It's right.
Why would you steal
that's
a Lerner and Rowe tagline?
Well,
that is trademarked.
Well, basically,
we've been here for how many years? 17, 18 years?
18 years, yeah.
Okay, why would we today start a new tagline like where we won't go wrong?
Well, I thought we always had the right Toyota where you won't go wrong.
No.
Right on the price.
No, right on the corner, right on the price, right to it. Never where you go. Add
a little flavor to it or something like that.
Just sit there and just be a passenger.
But you won't go wrong if you become the right Toyota.
Passenger. All right? It'd be just a lot better for you. All right, let's get to it. Our Document Solutions plays of the day, plus men's soccer team. Come on. Damn. It's just getting out of hand.
Smoked.
They get destroyed by Morocco.
Yeah.
By the way, Mike Morocco, Dan Manucci reporting. More Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B continues from Right to It next.
Hi, I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Recently, Lerner & Rowe was named the second most influential law firm in the United States. Although we have offices in other parts of the country, Glenn and I both live here and raise our families here. We are your local law firm. No other law firm in the state comes close to the experience, reputation, and results as Lerner & Rowe. When you're hurt in a wreck and need a check, call the law firm that can get you the results you need. Call Lerner & Rowe.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Hey, it's Jax, co-host of Take the Points, the only local sports gambling radio show in Arizona. Tune in every Saturday from 11 to 1, live right here from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. Let's cash some tickets.
Hey, it's Dom with Venezia's Pizzeria. You know us for delicious family dinners and huge party pizzas. But did you know we are great at feeding a large group too? Our full catering menu has a ton of variety, so everyone will find something they love. And the best part? We don't charge per head. Just tell us how many people you need to feed, and we'll handle the rest. Check out our catering menu at venezias.com. That's venezias.com. Venezias, a family and catering tradition.
If you haven't tried G2G protein bars, today is the day. Find them in your local Costco's refrigerated section or online at G2Gbar.com. Incredible taste and packed with protein. They are perfect for your on-the-go lifestyle. Check them out today.
Need an all-in-one wireless copier and printer or IT help for your business? Call Document Solutions of the Valley, the official copier and IT solutions company for Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Document Solutions is leading the Valley in business solutions for copier and IT service. They'll support your business no matter how big or small. Take advantage of either buying, leasing, or renting many makes and models of copiers. For a free quote, call 623-252-8282. Document Solutions of the Valley. Our service can't be copied.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
Get out of the heat and play at Dukes.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
A huge new game room is open with foosball, pool tables, shuffleboard, darts, and Pop-A-Shot basketball.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
With 3 10-foot TV screens and dozens more big screens, you'll find every game you're looking for.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
Voted Best Sports Bar by New Times.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
3 huge patios on the Greenbelt, all doggy friendly.
Where Dukes? Miller and McDowell. Scottsdale.
We're going abroad for the first time in years to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Time for today's play of the day, courtesy of Document Solutions, leading the Valley in business solutions for copier and IT service. Their service can't be copied. 623-252-8282. Now let's get to the play of the day.
The American, Kate Douglas in lane 4, trying to hold off Smith. It's coming down to the final couple of strokes, but Kate Douglas is going to win the Olympic gold for the U.S., and Douglas gets that first Olympic gold.
Team USA is leading the way. They are closest to the finish line, and the men's 4 delivers gold. Nick Mead, Justin Best, Michael Grady, Liam Corrigan, realizing right now they are very best.
How about that? You had Team USA winning their first gold in rowing since 1960. You heard Kate Douglas there. Simone Biles also won a gold medal yesterday as the U.S. shot up when it comes to golds, as they jumped up from 7th place to 2nd yesterday, as they got 4 of them yesterday. So congrats to Team USA. The last I looked, the count is 41 for the U.S. when it comes to medals. But on a sour note, it took all of 7 minutes to end one of the best runs by a U.S. men's soccer team in the Olympics in almost 25 years, as they did it to themselves. A couple penalties led to 2 goals for Morocco, and they went on to win 4-0. And
4-0. I mean,
it's just
how far have we fallen?
U.S.
Rock?
mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, and Morocco clearly was a better team, at least from what I read and saw. I mean, they had a 8-1 advantage in shots, and the Americans just didn't have any answer. So not good. It's just sad that both goals were a result of miscues, and that's the part that I think soccer aficionados are saying, "Man, that's BS. That can't happen."
Yeah, and you
right, Chris.
I mean, come on, guys, let's go. I mean, where's the finesse? Where's the experience in all this?
All right, defend soccer, Chris. You got 1 minute.
Yeah, I will. I mean, this is the furthest that a U.S. team has gone on the men's side in the Olympics since 2000. It's their best performance since 2008, where they hadn't qualified since 2008. So there are bright spots. This is an under 23 team. This is the future of U.S. soccer. It doesn't just happen. It doesn't just click overnight. Yes, this performance against Morocco is disappointing. You don't want to lose 4-0 in a competition of this caliber. But to think that this team doesn't have good quality players that are going to help the next chapter of U.S. soccer is foolish just by looking at what happened today. This is I don't want to call it successful, but this is a step in the right direction for soccer in America, because this team did make it to the knockout stage for the first time since 2000. There are things that you can take away from this to be able to build on for the future.
I feel so much better. See, that's why we go to Chris.
Thank you for the encouragement.
Seriously, now I'm okay with it now. That's all I need. I just need to be educated. That's all I think people need to do, and that's what some of the talking heads out there need to do to the people that want soccer to do well, and they know MLS has been very popular, and they know the World Cup is coming. So I think that to what Chris just said, I think that's good news.
Got to be very patient, I guess, with the young guys coming up. What it sounds like to me. That's from all things considered.
On this day, 103 years ago, 1921, the Black Sox scandal came to an end. That was 8 players from the Chicago White Sox who were accused of fixing the 1990 World Series. They were acquitted by a jury in Chicago. But despite the acquittal, all 8 players were banned for life, including Shoeless Joe Jackson.
He was kind of the dude in those days. He was that guy that they went, well, if Shoeless Joe is going to succumb to this or fix these kind of things, what about the other players? So I think who the commission had to set the tone that, all right, if we got one of the top players of baseball that's going to be fixing that was acquitted, in our minds, for this to go to trial, we're going to ban anybody from that standpoint. I think that's when gambling and a lot of those things started to come to fruition.
Sad day in 1979, one of my favorite players growing up, Thurman Munson, was killed in a plane crash, he was practicing takeoffs and landings near his home in Canton, Ohio. The next day at Yankee Stadium, they had a memorial, and 51,000 people were there. He was only 32.
And interesting thing about that, they're making their pennant run. I've been the Yankees, and I guess it was a Learjet. He was learning to get his commercial license, touch and go, and was it smoke in the cockpit, a fire in the cockpit happened, and he couldn't land that plane fast enough, and they succumbed to it.
2005, in the largest trade in NBA history, Antoine Walker was dealt from Boston to Miami in a transaction that involved 5 teams, 13 players. Some other players involved in there was James Posey, Eddie Jones, Jason Williams. You had the Hornets, the Jazz, the Memphis Grizzlies, the Miami Heat. It was a big ass
Jason,
trade.
you think of Posey and Williams. I remember Jason Williams. He was a stud, but some of the other guys you just forget about and how big of a trade that was to have 5 players. And it was 2000. You said 2000. Was it 2005? Yeah. And the only I could think of anything was close to that when the Suns had their big trade when they sent
Barkley
Hornacek going to Philadelphia and Charles coming out here in the 1992-93
That's when I moved here. Right when that went down. Once Barkley left Philly, I came with him.
You and Chuck are tied at the hip.
Yeah,
there,
we are. Today's National Ice Cream Sandwich Day.
Oh, I love
Who
ice cream.
doesn't like ice cream sandwiches? I don't
some-
know anybody that does. By the way, Mr. Softy should be coming through here any minute.
Ice cream sandwiches,
at,
the
Roc
best.
Toyota.
Absolutely the best.
So good stuff there. But so that's your Document Solutions plays of the day. Plus on this day, Document Solutions. As if you are in the market, I should say, for a wireless printer, you can give them a call at 623-252-8282 and get it all in one printer. You can buy, lease, or even rent. They got many makes and models that'll work right off your smartphone. So call them 623-252-8282, Document Solutions of the Valley, where their service can't be copied, and reach out to our good buddy Greg. As we started the program, we were talking about the kickoff format, but some stories we didn't get into is the D-backs opening up a 6-game East Coast trip this afternoon in Pittsburgh against, of course, the Pirates. Brandon Fault will get the ball for the Snakes, and then after this trip, they'll head over to Cleveland. This team coming off a 5-1 homestand, which is great. So they enter the day a half game ahead of the Mets for the final National League wild card spot.
Well, it's going to be a tough 6 games, Rock. The Guardians are running away with the American League Central with a 6-7 games ahead of the Royals, and this is that time when you're going to go against teams like Pittsburgh that they're in the hunt with the wild card together. You'll hopefully win that series. You get 2 out of 3, and then you go into Cleveland. You can win 2 out of 3. Just start winning those series to try to keep pace, with the other teams that are in that wild card. So specifically, that being the Pittsburgh Pirates, who you've got the 3-game set against. So Cleveland, tough, and then coming back next week, your Phillies will be in town. That'll be going on. So there's really no really weak teams per se. And interested to see if Merrill Kelly comes back. Rumors they've hinted that he might come back in the Cleveland series. I don't know if he's on the road trip or not, but they were hinting that if his simulated game that day went really good, he went like 50-some pitches. But again, if they can get him back, if not on this road trip when he gets back, it sounds like when they come back in town next week that he's going to get back on the bump. And how effective he's going to be, we'll just have to wait and see.
So we're going to get into some football talk today, a lot of football talk. We're going to have the head coach of Arizona State. Coach Dillingham's going to join us. We're also going to have the head coach at Northern Arizona, Coach Wright, who just took over after a very successful career at Pittsburgh State. Before that, he was at Youngstown. Spent a bunch of time there. I believe he was there when Tressel was there, as well as Montana. He was at Montana. I don't know if it's Montana State or Montana. I think it was Montana. But So we'll have both coaches joining us at some point this afternoon. So looking forward to catching up with both of them as training camp has begun. We also will catch up with Eric Williams. He's going to join us next. He has been a reporter for Sports Illustrated and ESPN, covering the Rams, the Chargers, also the Seahawks for the Tacoma News Tribune, where he's been making his rounds. So we're going to talk to him about his stops with the Raiders, the Rams, the Chargers, and today he is with the Cardinals. So we're going to talk to Eric about what he is seeing out there on the road, and looking forward to get his take on what he's seeing here and his perspective on this Arizona Cardinal team, as tomorrow is the big red and white game at State Farm Stadium. I know a lot of people look forward to that. It's a practice, but it's an annual deal. And we are 1 week from tomorrow, and they'll open up against the Saints.
It's amazing. Just a week from tomorrow, opening up against the Saints.
What's so amazing about it? We saw football last night.
I know it is, but I mean,
why is it amazing?
It's here. I mean, here you are 2 weeks.
Yesterday it was here.
Yeah, but here, one thing I like, this red and white practice, folks, it will not be a scrimmage. They finally are calling it a red and white practice. For years it was a red and white scrimmage because they actually would scrimmage. Get a lot of guys out there, kind of a dress rehearsal for the week before that preseason game. So today it sounds like they might be a little more physical. We understand they'll don the pads, and then tomorrow to just be more of a controlled practice as far as running through their plays. But in reference to Eric coming up next, just kind of want to get his thoughts on what the theme is for a lot of these NFC West teams, these teams he's going to in reference to getting ready for the season.
I'm going to talk Raiders and Chargers too, though. So
yeah,
you know.
Sure, it's fine.
So, because that's where he's been the last few days. So, football draft, Twin Peaks, 5 locations in the Valley. The commissioners receive a $50 bounce back card, plus everybody gets a $5 gift card. So if you're looking to host or look for a place to host your fantasy draft, Twin Peaks is your fantasy draft headquarters. Go to twinpeaksrestaurants.com or just go in any of the locations and book a table to have your draft. But as we mentioned, we're going to go camping next because our next guest has hit the Rams, the Chargers, Raiders, and now the Cards. We'll go camping with NFC West beat writer Eric Williams, who from Fox Sports. He will join us next. Just Roc, Manuch, no Jimmy B. It's Fox Sports 910.
Behold, here's what's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix.
The Suns have come to terms with guard Ty Washington on a 2-way contract. The Cardinals are back on the field for training camp after today. Just 3 more practices, including tomorrow's red and white practice, remain on the schedule. Arizona State and Arizona are now officially members of the Big 12 Conference. The football season begins August 31st when the Sun Devils play Wyoming and the Wildcats take on New Mexico. And the Diamondbacks, winners of 3 in a row, go for 4 straight with Brandon Pfaadt on the mound in their series opener with the Pirates. That kicks off the first of 6 on the road. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
There's something that binds us all, the constant hunger to improve, the obsession with every detail, and the reward of a custom fitting taking your game to a whole new level. We're all bound by 2 words said by golfers worldwide. Schedule your fitting at Vans Golf Shops. Find your local store at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
Any car dealer in Arizona can compete on price. That's what dealers do. But not many dealers can compete on customer satisfaction. Like Wright Toyota. Make the right choice. Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. Just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard. And online at wrighttoyota.com.
When you use your electric vehicle in autopilot or self-driving mode, accidents can still happen. Whether you're considered at fault or not, you may still have a claim. Lerner & Rowe has a dedicated team skilled in this new science. We are the first law firm in America with the ability to review the proprietary software and hold electric vehicle manufacturers responsible. If you or a loved one were injured in an electric vehicle accident, call Lerner & Rowe today.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Are you struggling with low testosterone? Metier Clinical Services has you covered. Get a 1-month supply for just $250, including your initial labs and pre-filled syringes. Visit Metier Clinical Services today and pick up your boost. No hassle, just results. Callers to learn more at 602.
Torey Lovello is speaking in Cleveland.
Or visit Metier Clinical
or Pittsburgh, wherever they are.
Metier.
Eduardo Rodriguez is with the team, so it looks like he's going to start either Monday or Tuesday.
Healthcare provider before.
And then he did say that Seawald is out of the closer's role for now, doesn't know who he's going to put in there, and is not ruling out Seawald going back in there.
It's the move over law. If you see emergency lights, move over and slow down. Let's keep our roads safe for everyone. Sponsored by all.
So if more than likely Tuesday, what they'll do is if Gallen pitches Monday, he's on regular rest, and then Eduardo could slide in on Tuesday. They probably don't want to rush Gallen up a day.
Feeding a large group too. Our full
Seawald out of the closer role, and he did not give names of who he would put in his place.
Best part, we don't charge per head.
Probably Puck or Ginkel.
And we'll handle the rest. Check out our catering menu at Venezias.com. That's Venezias.com. Venezias, a family and
I'm just dialing them now. So.
Did you know your skin is the largest?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the first time he has an opportunity to put somebody in there, we'll get the answer to who he's thinking.
Instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice super hydration.
Eric's good.
24/7 renewing moisture.
And yeah, Erod has been ahead of Merrill the entire time. It looks like Merrill's probably another week or two.
Sarah Spain for iHeart Women's Sports.
Presented by eBay Motors.
In the gymnastics all-around final at the Olympics, Simone Biles won gold, Brazil's Rebecca Andrade picked up silver, and Suni Lee scored bronze. With the gold, Biles becomes the first woman to win 2 Olympic all-around titles since 1968. She also breaks a 120-year-old record, becoming the first U.S. gymnast to win 6 Olympic medals. For more women's sports stories, be sure to subscribe to Good Game with Sarah Spain on iHeart Podcasts.
eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need at the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they're guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
You're hot.
All right, time to go a little camping. As our next guest been nice enough to join us a few times and joins us again today, Eric Williams. You can follow him at Eric_D_Williams, Fox Sports. And Eric, you've been doing a little traveling as of late. I saw Rams, Chargers, Raiders. I know your Cardinals today. Where else have you gone to?
Thanks again for having me. Those are the 4 places I've been so far. I'm going to go to Saints, I believe, in 2 weeks. They're going to scrimmage the Niners. And then I'll be up in Oxnard in a week when the Cowboys will scrimmage the Rams. So getting to look at a lot of different teams over the next 2 or 3 weeks.
I am curious for some. I mean, I know we're Phoenix and we're going to talk about the Arizona Cardinals, but because it's a melting pot, I just would love to get your take, first of all, with the Rams. What you saw from the Rams. I know the quarterback, is did he get the extension yet, or is he close to getting that extension?
Yeah, how do you define that bump in pay?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure this out.
It's an adjustment, not an extension. They basically gave him a $4 to $5 million bump this year, and then they gave a $4 to $5 million bump next year, and then guaranteed his salary for next year. He only had guarantees up through this season, and so I think Stafford wanted a little more security, which makes sense. Where you look at all the quarterback salaries are going, and he's certainly one of the top quarterbacks still, even though he's 36 years old. So it makes him a little more comfortable, which is understandable. And now he's out in the practice field ready to play.
Yeah. All right. Now, how about Raiders? O'Connell or Minshew? Is that who they're going to go with, or are they going to see what else? Is this a temporary deal, or do you expect them to make some moves if there's anybody available?
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to GM Tom Telesco for a little bit when I was out at Raiders last week. I know Tom from covering the Chargers. He basically said they're going to split the reps in practice and in preseason games, and then ultimately Antonio Pierce will make that decision on who the starter is going to be, whether it's O'Connell in his second year or Gardner Minshew, who they got from the Colts. I will say this: they gave Gardner 2 years, $25 million, and knowing Tom, it would be hard for me to see them having that guy making that kind of money sitting on the sidelines unless O'Connell is head and shoulders above where Gardner's at. And then I think the other thing is I wouldn't rule out a possibility of a third quarterback going in there if both those guys struggle. I think there's a lot of pressure on Pierce to win games. based on the interim status last year. And then you're coming in this season, the possibility of Belichick being out there after the season is over, and others that, have had a lot of success that aren't coaching this year. I wouldn't be surprised if they make a move to upgrade the talent there if both those guys struggle.
And Eric, I had a chance to watch receiver a couple weeks ago, watching following Devontae Adams and the doldrums that were the Raiders. But you talked about Antonio Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
He brought a lot of juice to that locker room last year, those last, 5 or 6 games he was there. Can they sustain that kind of juice from him? And do they have all the pieces to make a run at the Chiefs in the AFC West?
Yeah, that was one of the things I noticed at practice is, like you said, a lot of juice, a lot of energy. Players seem to like him in terms of their culture. He's a former player. I think that resonates with a lot of guys that are out there. But ultimately, it's about wins and losses. And I think you look at the talent 1 through 53, they still have a ways to go to upgrade their talent level in order to compete within their division when you look at the Chiefs and the Chargers. And so I think it's going to be an uphill climb for them to be able to not only compete in the AFC West, but, to be able to steal one of those wild card spots.
How different is it there with the Chargers now with Jim Harbaugh?
It's way different.
Yeah.
I think when you watch them on the practice field, there's one thing that's clear is he's in control. That was the one thing that stood out to me is he's kind of telling them where to go from period to period. Usually when you watch football practice, the head coach is kind of observing and the other person is kind of running the logistics of practice, but he's controlling, what's happening minute by minute. And I think you just have clarity there from top to bottom in terms of what they're going to do and how they're going to establish a winning culture there, which I think is needed. I've been covering that team in the past. But it's concerning, Justin Herbert with this foot injury. That's something that could linger, and so I'm wondering how he's going to come back from that. If that's going to be something that's going to continue to bother him throughout the year. And if he's not taking snaps under center, that team's totally different. There's a significant drop off from Justin Herbert to Easton Stick, so he needs to get help.
So you go to all these camps, and I imagine you've got a theme, or you got an idea what you want to do, what you want to cover. So here you are covering the Cardinals today and tomorrow. What's your theme? What are you looking to cover? What do you want to cover to try to get a pretty good idea of what this team has going into the regular season?
Yeah, I think you have Harrison and how he's fitting to the offense and how he's developing a rapport and a rhythm with Kyler Murray. I think, this offense is going to go how Harrison plays. Is he going to be a guy that can potentially be a 1,000-yard receiver for them? Can he dictate coverage? Can he open things up for other people on the offense? I think he's that special and that good. And so I'm interested to see what he looks like in the offense with Kyler. They're going to be full pads today at practice, so get a chance to watch that. And I think they're having the red and white scrimmage tomorrow, so I got 2 days to kind of watch how Harrison is involved in the offense. And I think the other thing is the defense. Are they going to be able to create pass rush? Is the secondary going to be improved? Are they going to be able to take the ball away to kind of complement what I expect to be a high-powered offense for the Cardinals?
And with that, and you said watching Kyler Murray, what in particular you want to watch, or what are some of the line of questioning, not to pour any water on what you're going to be reporting on? What do you want to find out from this young man or see from this young man? It's kind of like we've been talking about it for almost for 5 years. Here it is, year 6. Sooner or later, something's got to give. So what's the crux or core you want to get to there, Eric?
I think for me, kind of watching from afar is what changed, because he just seems like a different person this year with all these trips with players, going to LA for a week, taking them to these different games. The interaction and trying to develop that chemistry with other players on the team seems different than in years past. So Kyler kind of emerging as a vocal leader on this team is an interesting storyline for me, and I'm interested to see how that translates to them being more competitive.
And with that, with Jonathan Gannon as the head coach, Monty Ossenfort, the general manager, how much do you get a chance to really kind of dive into maybe not so much the camp itself, but some of the personnel and some of the areas they want to look for improvement, either from the rookies or the veterans?
Yeah, it's definitely an opportunity to talk to people around the organization, whether it's coaches, either JG, like you said, or Ossenfort, to kind of talk about, players that maybe aren't getting enough shine that they think are going to help them. I think Greg Dortch is a guy that's mentioned a lot when you talk to people within the organization. Sounds like he's having a good camp. He's been a guy that's been productive for them in years past. And maybe he's a guy that, again, can kind of be one of those under the radar players that has performed well for them and could take another step and develop in that offense, particularly with Marvin Harrison getting so much attention, in terms of his level of play.
And then, I think the other guy that I think a lot of folks are anxious to see break out, because he was injured off and on, is Michael Wilson, the other side receiver. You talk about Dortch. How much of an impact do you think that Wilson can make with this offense?
I think significant. Again, I think he can be a chain mover for them because of his big physical nature and his ability to win contested catches, go over the middle of the defense, be a guy that can, 3rd and 5, you can stick the ball in his chest and maybe he can make a play afterwards. I expect him to be a nice number 2 target to go with Dortch and Harrison, and obviously what James Conner can do out of the backfield. I just think they have a lot more different places to go. We haven't even talked about Trey McBride kind of year that he had last year. A lot of options there for Tyler in terms of spreading the ball around.
And Eric, when you look at the Cardinals, you may have maybe 4 or 5 rookies that could start. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. and Darius Robinson, Max Melton at cornerback. Trey Benson will be a backup to Connor, but Isaiah Adams as a guard or tackle, probably as a guard. But is this rare to see this many rookies having an opportunity to start for this kind of a team in the second year of this staff?
I'll go back to what Seattle did a couple of years ago with Tariq Woolen. They had 5 or 6 impact rookies go in there and really kind of change the talent level on that roster. And then end up, having kind of a rebirth where they went from, I believe, 6-11 and finished 9-8 and went to the playoffs. And I think you're right. I think because they had so many bites at the apple in terms of the number of picks, they got a lot of talent. And you could have 5 or 6 rookies give this roster an infusion of talent, energy, and playmaking ability, which would allow them to compete and maybe surprise some teams, be able to compete for a wild card. I think this is a team that could hover around 500 if they're able to stay healthy and players are able to play up their potential. And the one guy that I like that you mentioned is the cornerback out of Rutgers,
Max Melton.
I think he's a guy that can come in and make the plays.
Eric, last one. Did you like the debut of the new kickoff format?
It was kind of meh for me. Really was nothing there. I mean, I think they average starting position was maybe 25 or 26. I think it was nice to see them return, but I don't think we're going to see any juice from kickoff until the first week of the regular season. I think guys are going to kind of, play their cards close to the vest and not really show what they want to show until that first week when it really matters.
Do you have any idea? We were just discussing it briefly before you came on, but we were talking about both teams lined up, and the first play of the game, you saw one guy had a little bit of an edge. I think who made the tackle. What is that penalty? Do we know if it's a 10 yards offsides? Do we know what that penalty would be?
Oh, if a guy leaves early?
Yeah, if a guy leaves early, because like in the XFL, I believe they have a whistle that they fire off before but they don't believe they had anything last night.
I think they blow it dead.
Okay.
I think it's 5 yards, but not positive on that. I think 5 yards would make sense when you think about the penalty for something like that, but I don't know for sure.
And the officials understand are there at training camp with the car. Are you getting a chance? Do the reporters get a chance to sit in and listen to some of the rules and the conversation per se?
Yeah, just got out of that meeting and talked about some of the different rules that are, going to be in place for this year. But the one thing I thought was interesting is they're trying to move away from using the change and using the laser technology, which they've been using in the USFL and the UFL in order to mark first downs. I think that would be a great change of pace for the pace of play to speed things up, to actually use the technology that we have in the 21st century and maybe move away from the chain gang, which I know some of the old school people might not like to hear that. That's not going to be put in place, though, because they don't have the technology in all 32 stadiums to do that. So you're still going to see the chain gangs out there for this season, and it'll be tested in stadiums where they have the technology to use it.
Eric, we appreciate your time, man. Enjoy your stay here in the Valley.
Sure, no problem. Thanks for having me.
You got it. Eric Williams, NFC beat writer for FoxSports.com. Appreciate him taking a few minutes to join us as he is going camping and here today and tomorrow. He is brought to you today by All City Towing. They're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service personnel. You can enjoy great benefits. They have set work schedules, a healthy 401k employer match, health benefits, employer paid life insurance. You get it. They offer a lot, even monthly fuel allowance. So check it out for yourself. If you're looking to take your career to the next level, visit them at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is on the move. Football at 50 is next. We'll talk about last night's game as well as the latest on some players that are hurt, as well as the judge overturning the $4.7 billion NFL verdict for Sunday Ticket. That's next. Fox Sports 910.
Need an all-in-one wireless copier and printer or IT help for your business? Call Document Solutions of the Valley, the official copier and IT solutions company for Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Document Solutions is leading the Valley in business solutions for copier and IT service. They'll support your business no matter how big or small. Take advantage of either buying, leasing, or renting many makes and models of copiers. For a free quote, call 623-252-8282. Document Solutions of the Valley. Our service can't be copied.
What's up, guys? Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing. Monsoon season is upon us. Be proactive today. Go to state48roofing.com. Scan the QR code below. We want to take care of you. Be proactive. Get your maintenance done. We are home of the hashtag sexy roof status.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado feature a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. That's why they've won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant and enjoy. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of game day.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
There's something that binds us all. The constant hunger to improve. The obsession with every detail. And the reward of a custom fitting, taking your game to a whole new level. We're all bound by 2 words said by golfers worldwide. Schedule your fitting at Vans Golf Shops. Find your local store at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
Grill, patio, sunset, hard to get better than that. Unless you're browsing Carvana's inventory while you soak it all in.
I could stay here forever.
Carvana's got thousands of cars under $20,000 just waiting for you. Visit Carvana to shop for cars the convenient way.
Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Come join our growing team at Progressive Insurance. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Now back to the Roc and Manuch Show, live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the selection, and always right on the price. Wright Toyota, 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale, and online at wrighttoyota.com.
Let's get ready for football!
It's Football at 50, the latest top football story trending this hour. Right here with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
Yes, Mother Nature had other plans for the end of the game tonight. It is a 21-17 final, I guess, and the Bears will walk out of here with a 4-point win from the NFL. Severe weather has resulted in the termination of tonight's game. The decision was made by the NFL in New York in consultation with local public safety officials.
That was the final call last night of the Pro Football Hall of Fame game at Tom Benson Stadium there in Canton, as they had that severe weather, and he just gave you that final score, 21-17. That cancellation came after a 36-minute weather delay, but the NFL did the right thing. When there's lightning in the area,
Oh,
that's what you
absolutely.
need to do.
Yeah.
And this is the third time the Hall of Fame game has been cut short because of severe weather.
I remember the one many years ago when it was raining, cats and dogs and lightning all over the stadium. They could not get people out of there. And I'm going way back to when Howard Cosell and Frank Gifford and I believe Don Meredith were calling the game, and it was just a deluge. And anytime that lightning's within a mile or whatever, they're gone.
So with that kickoff, the return average was 22.7. That's how many yards. There were a pair of illegal formations for the players that moved before the ball was fielded. And of the 8 kickoffs, 1 resulted in a touchback.
I guess I expected more. I really did.
Yeah.
I felt 22 yards. I mean, hell, you might as well just, do the old touchback thing, get the ball to the 25. Now it's to the 30. And it's like, at least they get a chance to break it away. I guess that's probably more than we saw last year. I don't know. It was a low percentage as far as returns last year, but I think that those are something, at least we're getting a chance to see somebody break one. But as far as the one question I have, and I'll look into this, is do the guys on the kickoff defense have to stay in their lanes? Will they eventually be able to loop and, kind of loop around each other? Or how disciplined does that have to be as far as coming straight down the field? I think it'll be tweaked a little bit.
I thought the quarterbacks last night looked pretty good.
I did too. I mean, you look at
Brett Rippon. He was 11 of 15, 166 yards. He had 3 touchdowns. Davis Mills on the other side, he looked good. Even Case Keenum, who came in there, it did pretty well. I was like, those are pretty good backup quarterbacks that came in there.
Yeah, the one thing you noticed, so there was just 4-man rushes. I don't think I saw any stunts or blitzes on anybody, but it was almost like, 7-on-7. I think they had clean pockets, they getting the ball out. But I was impressed too. Those guys getting the ball out. Timing was better than I thought it was. Accuracy was pretty good. But I mean, you look at, there was only 1 sack amongst all the quarterbacks on both sides, and no interceptions for the first preseason game. But then again, you got guys like Davis Mills and Keenum and Boyle with Houston that they're veterans, and Rippon, who had, as you mentioned, had a hell of a game. Badgett, who came in last year and did fairly well for the Bears. I mean, he comes in and does fairly well. So I think without the blitzing and a lot of the pressure kind of helped that out a little bit.
You may have heard yesterday that the Titans are going to be without their star wide receiver for quite some time, as DeAndre Hopkins hurt his knee in practice, and it appears that he'll be out 4 to 6 weeks. He's coming off a terrific season where he had just over 1,000 yards receiving 7 touchdowns. They're set to open up September 8th against the Colts, but it doesn't look like that's going to be in the cards for him.
Yeah, for a young quarterback, you want your top-notch receiver. D-Hop had quiet 75 catches over 1,000 yards last year. Yeah, you look at him and how well he played there, stayed healthy for the most part. You just wonder why we couldn't get those kind of numbers aside from his first year here with the Cardinals.
So those are your top headlines. One thing I do want to add is the judge overturned that $4.6 billion verdict against the NFL on that Sunday night ticket that came down, as if you remember, a jury ruled last month that the league had violated the antitrust laws by selling its Sunday night ticket package only on DirecTV, and they inflated the price. So now they found that the NFL was liable for that $4.7 billion. So we'll see what happens now, because even under the federal antitrust laws, that damages can be tripled.
Yes.
Which would get to 14 and some change $billion. But now that the ruling has been overturned, we'll find out the final verdict in the next few days.
Yeah, when you get a appeals judge that rules that way, you just kind of stop and go, okay, so somewhere is there maybe a settlement happening here right now? I mean, as far as
the NFL, their lawyers were on this.
Oh my gosh,
fast.
3.
Absolutely, they were, and I saw that yesterday. I saw that go, okay, it's the National Football League. This judge is saying it was more than fair. There was fair warning out there. It's not an antitrust violation, and you have a court, ruling of peers that said it is. I just think that this thing there's a settlement somewhere in there, and you know how it always goes, Rock. The National Football League will settle, but they will neither confirm or deny that they had any kind of wrongdoing, because this is a settlement. And that settlement will be sealed as to what damages are going to go out to those fans.
So football at 50 today is poured by El Bandino Yankee Tequila. Break out the Bandino, as it's been created by a couple Bandinos themselves, former athletes, Jim Bob Morris, Chris Chelios. El Bandino Yankee Tequila is the official tequila of Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Experience it for yourself. Ask for it at your favorite watering hole. Break out the Bandino. Hey, we're going to catch up with one Kenny Dillingham at the top of the hour at 2 o'clock. Looking
2 minutes.
Catching up with him. As interesting as he said earlier this week and right after one of his practices, that his team is full of misfits and underdogs. And he's going in to the 24 season with these type of individuals, which I like that approach.
Well,
I really do. And you'll hear him say that as we got some sound for you, but he is going to join us. Also, Scott Spreitzer, our handicapper, will stop by as well.
And Tonazona, they're leaving next week, the 7th. There'll be Tonazona from the 7th to the 10th. I'm so glad they brought that back, Rock, that he's dived into that. So those guys that get up there.
He gets tradition.
Yes, he does.
Understands the Sun Devil way.
Sure, he does.
I think that's why he wants this job, and he wants to keep this job, and he wants to be successful. I would love for the youngest coach in Power 4 to have
Power
success
4. There
and
you
be
go.
here for a long time. Be the next so-called Frank Bush.
Yeah, and I hope so. I just think that if they can, with the NIL money and the recruiting, the kind of depth that they're going to need going to that Big 12 conference, to just kind of to build on it this year. And I think with a lot of recruits seeing the success that they had this year, that they can build on it and be part of a program that can grow into the Big 12.
And a lot of changes on the coaching staff. You have a new offensive coordinator, Marcus Arroyo. You have Hines Ward now involved. So I'm anxious to see how much he is going to kind of give up when it comes to play calling, right? Because he's always been the play caller.
That's his baby right there, man.
So we'll talk to him next. We're excited to have him. We're out here at Roy Toyota together. No Jimmy B. He's playing golf today,
20.
I think. But it's myself, Manuch, Jax, and Schubert. We got you till 4 o'clock. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Fox Sports 910.
Clear.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B has been sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Have you been charged with a crime you didn't commit? It happens more than you think. When your liberty is on the line, you need an experienced attorney that will aggressively fight for you. Lerner & Rowe Law Group handles DUI and all other criminal charges. And with our affordable payment plans, it's easier than you think to get the defense you need. If the police made a mistake, call Lerner & Rowe today. We're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to take your call.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Join the team at the largest towing company in the state, All City Towing. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service personnel. Enjoy benefits like the state's most advanced towing equipment, set work schedules, a healthy 401k employer match, health benefits, employer-paid life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Ready to take your career to the next level? Visit us at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is on the move.
A small commitment at least 1 day a week helps reduce ground-level ozone pollution and helps us all breathe easier. Walk to lunch, skip the drive-thru and go inside. Visit maricopa.gov/AQ to learn how you can help.
Hey,
yeah, I've got him already.
Send me over our new Wi-Fi password.
Oh, sorry, Mitch, you can't be trusted.
What?
It's your phone. It's different than mine.
Cam. And I thought I was a judgy one.
No, it's just messages between different devices aren't encrypted.
Okay. Since when do you know about encryption?
I know what encryption is, and it's because I'm the last line of defense against any would-be Wi-Fi thieves.
Cam, come on.
Okay, fine. I'll send it somewhere more private.
Thank you.
Safely send messages between different devices on WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
Broadcasting from the Raffi Law Group Studios. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD3 Phoenix. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app, the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics.
Diamondbacks going for a fourth consecutive win. They'll pitch Brandon Pfaadt in their series opener with the Pirates. That'll kick off the first of 6 on the road. The Suns have agreed with guard Ty Washington on a 2-way contract. The Cardinals are back on the practice field for training camp after today. Just 3 more open practices, including tomorrow's red and white practice, remain on the schedule. Arizona State and Arizona now officially members of the Big 12 Conference. The football season set to begin on August 31st. That's when the Sun Devils play Wyoming and the Wildcats will take on New Mexico. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For your Friday, look for another hot day out there. Temperatures right around 110 degrees, even warmer in some low desert communities. For tonight, mostly clear, with those overnight lows right around 91. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America N.A. Copyright 2024.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B is sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing.
I think for us, we're a team with a lot of guys that were misfits at their last place. They're guys that went to a small school, that big school didn't believe in them. Now they're here. Or they went to this big school and they were a superstar, and it didn't work out like they wanted. You know, we're a group of misfit underdogs.
You're hot.
That nobody thought was good enough at one point.
I absolutely love that. Joining us now, of course, Sun Devils head football coach Kenny Dillingham joins us now on Roc and Manuch, Fox Sports 910. How we doing, Coach? What's going on?
What's up, Kenny?
Doing well. Sorry, my voice is dying on me. So I don't know how I do a radio interview with no voice, but I'm going to give it a shot.
Well, you've been getting those misfits and underdogs all pumped up, right? So that's where you're losing your voice.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got a lot of guys who just love football, man, and it's a joy to go out and practice this year with people who just love the game, and I love it.
Coach, you know, being a head coach, you have a lot of responsibilities, but you are a coach. You want to coach. How excited are you that practices have started? You're getting ready to go to Camp T. This is what you live for, right? I mean, all that other stuff I know comes with the job, but this is what you truly love to do.
Yeah, I mean, I work 8 months so I can live the dream for these 4, right? I mean, that's really what it boils down to. I love coaching, and these next 4 months I get to coach football. And I work all off season so I get to coach football. And I'm fired up.
Coach, when you look at last year to this year, what are some of the things, some of the wrongs you made right heading into this camp, make things more efficient as opposed to last year?
Yeah, I think one is practicing in the indoor, having a new indoor turf, and then the cooling temperatures in the indoor allow us to go in there and take some off of the guys. Having a little bit more data on what our guys' practices have looked like to control practice structures kind of throughout camp and adapt to how the guys are working. Those are the things that we're really focused on in fall camp, is pushing our guys that when we say go, that they got to trust us to go as hard as they can, and that we're going to be the ones that pull the throttle. And too many times last year, you know, people were pulling the throttle themselves. And I just firmly believe guys got to be able to take it full speed. Guys got to have that mindset that when they're on the field, it's go time. And it's a coach's job. And that's my goal this year, is to do a better job of running the guys back.
Well, and all that you've added, I mean, you had the full year, then spring football, and then now going into your second season at camp. How vitally important is it now you're adding more of that playbook and you're getting deeper in that syllabus that these guys are understanding in order for this team to grow?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, our communication on the field and just the knowledge of what we're trying to get accomplished is light years ahead of where we were last year. And it shows. I mean, you can tell the guys in summer prep actually prepped on their own, threw together, worked out together, and all that stuff and all that work is showing up early in camp. And like I told the guys, a lot of people can have 3 good days of practice. What does day 9 look like? You know, that's what's going to be the identity of the team.
Coach Dillingham joining us here, Roc and Manuch, Fox Sports 910. Coach, as you get ready for Camp D, and I know so many Sun Devil fans, alumni love the fact that tradition is continuing. How are there challenges because you're in such a routine to then pick up and go up there?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and I think that's the best part about it, is it's adversity. It's different. And for the guys and the coaches, we sleep on essentially cots. I sleep on a couch or the ground. We have a snore room for the coaches. All the coaches snore, huddle up in one room. They all sleep together. And, technology isn't good up there. You don't have your phones. It's just so different than how you live your daily life, and how comfortable people get to live nowadays, especially, our athletes, our coaches, is usually when you leave the football complex, you're in some sort of comfort. And Camp T is uncomfortable. Camp T, you're only with your teammates. Camp T, your phone doesn't work. And all of that stuff is awesome. And all that adversity is awesome. That's really the number one goal for this team this year is respond to adversity better. You got to respond. And I think it's great.
I can almost see the sayings all over the place. Embrace the challenge, buy into the process, all the things you put out there, Kenny. But what are the goals you and your staff want to come away with when you leave Tontozona on the 10th?
Yeah, I want a closer football team. I want a football team that gets to know each other on a deeper level. They understand the why. You understand that the 3 technique inside of you, and I'm the 2-eye, the nose guard, and we're running a twist game. And I look at that dude and I'm like, man, I know why that dude does this. Like, I'm not going to let him down because I know about him. I have a relationship with him. And I think that's the one thing that nowadays in college athletics and with the transfer portal and the change, we somewhat lose those relationships. And those relationships are what make football so great. Those relationships are what make sports so great. And, how we build upon those relationships when we're up there and we're around our campfires and when we're hiking the mountain and when kids are in the river floating and all of that stuff. I want to really embrace that.
I can almost see it somewhat similar to Remember the Titans when Denzel Washington's character pretty much told each guy to find out something about each one of your bunkmates or roommates or whatever that you report back. I kind of see that kind of scenario there, Coach.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's kind of the vision of going up there and getting away. Is it's just us.
Coach, I saw that you're utilizing EA Sports College Football 25. How are you implying that? How are you using that with the players?
Yeah, well, we have it set up in about 6 different rooms. We have plays that we call that create our own playbooks and put them in there. No, nobody else can get them, which I've been hit up by a bunch of people. But to be honest, right now, not many people are playing it. And I think that's the best part is we're focused on football. When throughout the day, everybody's day, when you're a college athlete, there's going to be downtime. And when they have downtime, yeah, I would love for them to go compete in something. If that's a video game, it's a video game. But when it's camp, you don't have time. Like, if you're taking care of your body right, you don't have time. And I think it's been a pleasant surprise that all that's still available. But I don't see people on the games. I see people in the cold tubs. I see people in the training room. I see people that are going and stretching in between periods or in between sections of the day. I see people putting in the work. And that's what motivates and inspires me about our guys is these guys want it.
Coach, your voice is really, we feel terrible. We were so appreciative you took some time. Thank you. We'll let you go. We need you to save your voice for the student athletes. So thanks so much for a few minutes, Coach. Hopefully catch up with you before the season starts.
I appreciate y'all having me. Y'all have a great day. And we'll probably be back on when the season starts or sometime before then.
You got it. That's Coach Kenny Dillingham. He's lost his
Poor
voice.
guy.
I feel terrible. We should have maybe rescheduled that.
Well, you never know because he's coming off. They have their morning practices. So.
I know, but he
Kenny
just sounds like he needs some lozenges, some hot tea, some honey.
Whatever they're gonna. He's talking 24/7 out there. So you're gonna get him one way or the other, whether it's at 2 o'clock,
3,
4, or 5. He's gonna be
so bad.
You wouldn't want that any other way, though.
No, you wouldn't. That's
it's
Kenny
college
Dillingham,
football,
man.
That's
awesome.
the typical
Yeah.
college
Well,
football coach.
The fact that 8 months he works to fulfill his dreams.
Absolutely.
I'm just such a fan. I want him to have so much success and just a little programming note, we'll have Charlie Regal, the assistant head coach, on every Thursday during the season like we did last year, thanks to our friends at Crest Insurance. So I'm excited to get this season underway, and, you hope that they could be a wild card. The Big 12, all the press have them finishing last, but, they have a tough schedule. They open up Wyoming and then Mississippi State. Then they're on the road back-to-back Texas State, Texas Tech. They get a bye. Then they got Kansas at home. And then they have Utah at home. Then they're at Cincy. Then another bye. Then they're at Oklahoma State. UCF comes here, at Kansas State, home BYU, and then they end up finishing the season down in Tucson.
There's really no weak teams when you look at that schedule per se. Even Wyoming, look at the year that they had last year. I mean, had a heck of a year, and you got Mississippi State coming in. You got Lane and that team from what they're looking to do. But I think what Kenny's trying to do, what I read and see, he's trying to build them up. And I like what the Colt Tanazona thing. Let's get to know each other. Let's work hard.
I love that.
Get to know each other. Let's work the chemistry, because you're going to need to have each other's back as this year goes on. And I thought it was very interesting when he said, look, we'll see what kind of a team we're made of week 9 of training, as you go into it. You kind of go, you're starting, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, all of a sudden you get into the regular season. How are these guys holding up after training camp, and you get 3 or 4 games into the regular season? Are we holding together because of the chemistry and the culture that we built in camp?
I think people forget, too, that they played Washington really tough last year. And if I'm Kenny Dillingham, I kind of take that from last year and apply to this team. And with all the transfer portal moves, they did lose Elijah Badger on offense, but he's right. There's a lot of misfits and a lot of guys that have a lot to prove with a lot of upside on this team.
One thing I wish we would have had some time with him. Again, I just felt so bad for his voice.
No, that's a good call, Rock.
This new Pat Tillman Leadership Council that he has started, that it's basically honoring the past and the present. You have players, leaders that are on this committee. I believe it's 12, and they'll have a patch on their jersey showing membership to this council. So when we get more time, I really want him to expand on that, because I think this Tillman Leadership Council is really cool. He's really, it's just, he's only been there a year, right? I mean, we're going into year number 2. So you got to give him the benefit of the doubt.
And I think what he's looking to do with that is just have these, the juniors and seniors, could be sophomores, whoever's that part of that leadership council, to hold those guys, the rest of the teammates, accountable. And what he's saying is, look, you guys are the leaders of this team. If you see somebody getting out of line or things getting out of line, you need to take control of that individual or talk to that individual and just be the quality leaders by example in school, on the field, so these young guys can see it. So if you're going to have a bunch of young guys that are actually going to play, and he's going to play a lot of young guys. I mean, he brought some guys into play initially that leadership council is going to have to keep them in line and also show them the ropes, how things are supposed to be.
Talking football here on a Friday, it's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
In the market for an electric charger for your place. Looking to upgrade your under cabinet or closet lighting? Look no further than
I gotta wait for it to
family. From service
catch up in the logger.
Installations, home remodels, and even TV mounting, we've got you covered. Visit acelectricalfamily.com or call 602-577-1392 to learn more about our comprehensive services and to schedule your free quote today. Power up with the best. Visit acelectricalfamily.com to book your free quote now. AC Electrical Family, quality service you can trust.
What's up, guys? Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing. Monsoon season is here, which means my team and I are ready to serve you and your family. Go to state48roofing.com, scan the QR code below. We'll see you up on your roof.
There's something that binds us all: the constant hunger to improve, the obsession with every detail, and the reward of a custom fitting taking your game to a whole new level. We're all bound by 2 words said by golfers worldwide. Schedule your fitting at Vans Golf Shops. Find your local store at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
Arena Sports Grill in Scottsdale on Bell Road is your home for billiards, poker, and trivia. And now, the Roc and Manuch Amber by Huss Brewing. Stop by today and experience top sports viewing, off-track betting, daily specials, and ice-cold Roc and Manuch Amber drafts. Arena Sports Grill.
Crest Insurance is about more than providing coverage. It's about creating your safety net. We offer access to a national network of trusted carriers. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, We're here to help with a personal touch that's close to home. We're deeply invested in our communities, supporting local charities and initiatives that uplift those in need. Crest Insurance. Coverage you can trust. Service you can count on.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture with daily use.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Now back to the Roc and Manuch Show, live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the selection, and always right on the price. Wright Toyota, 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale, and online at wrighttoyota.com. The Drive with Jody Ayler, now in mornings, Monday, 6 to 10 on Fox Sports 9.
You're hot. 8 to 3 o'clock hour, we'll catch up with Northern Arizona head football coach, the new head coach, that is, Brian Wright. He will join us at 3:30, so looking forward to that. But the question I have for you today on a Friday, little sports bar gossip, Manuch.
Throw it out there.
And both you and Schubert and Jax, you guys can
participate.
Part of this you like. Would you buy a car that would automatically report speeding to police? Basically, it's a snitch that you are speeding.
No.
No, I'm good.
Somebody tracks me down.
Then no one wants to buy a Ford.
Yeah.
Because Ford is coming out. They have a patenting system that would automatically report speeding vehicles to the police.
Even your own?
Yeah. So it's an onboard camera that snitches on other drivers. So you're driving, say you're on the 101 and you're in that left lane and someone flies by you, your car will be able to pick up that car that he's speeding.
No. You know what? Maybe
so much for Built Ford Tough. And
Yeah.
Built Ford Tough on crime is what they're trying to go at.
And you wonder if somebody, the wrong kind of person got pulled over, not a good person, and they tracked back.
How would they? Yeah, like, but how would they know?
They probably would.
They would not.
They probably wouldn't know
unless they go to court and
Yeah, I
ask
mean,
for the records. But this is some crazy technology.
no, I'm like, no. Well, if you got a car that can drive itself without a driver, imagine this technology into this in reference to picking up speeding traffic. And you're right, Rock. People go by you like at 95, 100 miles an hour on the 101. You're like, damn. I just kind of get out of the way and go, hope they don't hit anybody.
It's bad enough, like if you have a Tesla, all right, and you use the Tesla insurance, they are raising your insurance because of your habits of driving.
Really?
So I would be $5,000 a month for insurance.
Oh, wow.
Because I tend to go a little quick.
Do they got a chip that monitors?
It's all in the
And
all
then
in the app, it's all computerized. They know how fast you're going, everything.
Then the insurance company is like,
Insurance companies look, he's
Yeah.
a reckless driver.
Yeah,
He's
Mr. Morocco.
constantly 15 miles over the speed limit.
Yeah. Too bad
He
there's-
averages 16 miles, over the speed limit. So we're going to raise his rate
You're
because
like-
he's a threat. to
What's
society.
next? A camera in the car to monitor you, whether you're texting in the car?
Well, we have
or-
cameras. There's cameras in the car. There's cameras outside the car.
Well, I know outside the car, but actually in the car, as far as monitoring your driving habits. Are you texting as you're driving? Are you eating while you're driving? I mean, God forbid they don't have that, because insurance rates for a lot of people go up. Once I put that phone down, I will do Bluetooth on phone calls, but will not text at all on driving in that bad boy.
So there's this 50-year-old woman in Michigan. She was going through her emails and her spam folder and found this suspicious email that said that she had won the lottery for $200,000. And we all get those, right?
Sure,
You
yeah.
get that spam, you open it up, or you try not to open it up because you think it's gonna, it's gonna blow up your computer, right?
Yes.
But this woman found it, and it literally said that she won the prize of $207,199, and she thought it was a joke. Turns out that it was legit. It wasn't a scam. It was something called the Big Cash Second Chance drawing, and she didn't know that she even entered. So she was confused when she saw the email. And after she looked into it, she found out that it was real, and she got the cash.
I mean,
so kind of makes you now second guess those spam emails that you get.
I would have deleted that, not even opened it up.
$200,000.
I know, but you're sitting there going, but you see those little, things all the time, and you go, well, you won, and you're like, nah, whatever, that's a spam, because they're all spams nowadays. So you sit there and go, but I mean, I don't know. Heads up, if something like the lottery comes across, it looks, at least if you can open it and dive into it and see if it's legit, you can go from that.
Some other football news: Stanford and Cal, they have officially joined the ACC today. Officially, okay, and they are now full share members for 12 years. And Cal, their approval letter, according to their approval letter, the university must contribute money back to the conference for 9 years. Now, Stanford, they're private, so their terms are not public, but they're probably identical to that. But according to this membership letter, the contributions to the ACC are as follows: 67% of the distributions of media revenue to Cal during the first 7 years, 30% the 8th, and 25% in the 9th. That is huge. It all plays into this new economical model that is expected to add approximately $25 million annually to these athletic programs to the Power Four. So, that combines NIL, the transfer portal, all that stuff. But what this report is saying is Cal and Stanford, probably not as much for Stanford, but for Cal, this is really going to be a big strain on these programs. Big time. So I'm anxious to see how that happens.
So 25 to 30 million.
25 million.
Okay, 25 million. I would have expected they get more out of that.
That's a lot of money.
Well, I know it is.
All those schools.
But you think of the Big 12, the payouts for the Big 12, the Big 10. Look at the ACC. Now, yeah, it's a lot of money, but you just wonder, as that incorporates even more so, how much money more over this 12 years are they looking to incorporate? Now, to that point, Stanford being private, the fundraising they can go through more so than Cal is twofold. I mean, from there, as far as NIL money is concerned, that they can help support that budget or that money coming to them.
So USC, UCLA today officially part of the Big Ten. If you get an opportunity, if you're looking for some reading, Google USC, UCLA shocked the sports world 2 years ago. The story hit yesterday in USA Today, which basically kind of peeled the onion, or
move the curtain back.
Move the curtain back on what went down, all the communication, all the emails that went down detailing how the commissioner, the Pac-12 commissioner, was basically ghost on a Zoom call with the UCLA chancellor and the president of Southern Cal right before the schools were leaving. I mean, it was like a difference of 5 to 10 minutes that this all went down, and how the news broke, how the apology letters that came out, how the other university presidents and chancellors found out. It is an amazing story to see and read everything that went down to the point where the apology letters that went out to some bigwigs and stuff like that. But I was like, I'm reading this today, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. I mean, there's timestamps on a reporter with the San Jose Mercury News posting a message about it at 10:23 p.m. on June 30th, 2022. And, with Kolofkov, or however the hell you say his name, executive assistant found out, 4 minutes later.
That's incredible. I mean, it sounds like it's talking about covert operations. I mean, then planning this whole thing out 2 years ahead of time.
And all this was going down, and all the ADs and chancellors and all that stuff. It was in June, July, so they're all on vacation.
Right.
So
Wow.
they couldn't. So they're trying to call these emergency calls, and these assistants are all calling assistants to try to get everybody together. But one commissioner was traveling, as he had no phone service in Montana or wherever he was. But it's a really, really interesting piece if you care of how it all went down, at least with those two schools.
I guess that as much as stuff gets leaked these days, Rock, how that didn't get leaked prior to that announcement that they were moving on is beyond me. Talk about ironclad people and keeping this under wraps. That's the one thing that there wasn't a hint that these two teams are moving on. UCLA and USC, kind of the ones to kind of move this thing forward, and to have all the other schools looking to move on. But that's what amazes me is all this going on behind the scenes, if you will, and for this not to get leaked out that, hey, look.
It's like this news. I mean, the commissioner and all the Pac-12 leadership was basically caught off guard.
Sure.
And had to scramble to get to this emergency call, because of their summer travels, to somehow figure out how to get online so they can get a handle on how to report this.
Well, in the way that USC and UCLA designed this was perfect, because at that point, the point they made this decision to move on, the commissioner basically and all the other leaders caught with their pants down, couldn't counter it or go back to. I know they tried to counter it and come back to him and say, hey, look, we don't want you leaving. How about this, this, and this? And by that time, it's too late. I mean, USC and UCLA were way down the road. That's why I think it's just amazing that nothing was leaked and nothing was even put out there, or anybody from these two schools going, hey, look.
Or somebody from the Big Ten.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, you imagine talk about a sting operation was under wraps. That's classic there.
Check it out, USA Today. Pretty good story. This portion of the program of Roc and Manuch is brought to you by Twin Peaks. They have 5 Valley locations. It's your fantasy football headquarters. We are giving you an opportunity to win a big screen TV. All you have to do is text Peaks to 59925. That's Peaks to 59925. You can enter daily. Standard message data rates apply. We gave away 5 last year. We're going to do a bunch of them this year, but we've made it a little bit different this time around, that you get to select the size up to 85 inches. Because in the past, we were given 75s, and they were too big for some people in their apartments. So this gives you an opportunity if you need a 50, a 60, a 70, or you want the 85, you're going to have that choice. So just text Peaks to 59925. Sports handicapper Scott Spreitzer is next, as we'll handicap the Olympics and more. It's Fox Sports 910.
Clear. This is what's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix.
Arizona State and Arizona now officially members of the Big 12 Conference. The football season begins August 31st when the Sun Devils play Wyoming and the Wildcats take on New Mexico. A number of moves for the Diamondbacks ahead of their series opener with the Pirates in Pittsburgh. They've activated new first baseman Josh Bell. Pavin Smith has been optioned to Reno. Humberto Castellanos has been recalled. Bryce Jarvis goes on the 15-day injured list. Brandon Font will get the start today. And the Suns have agreed with guard Ty Washington on a 2-way contract. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910. Available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado feature a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. That's why they've won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant and enjoy. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of game day.
Is it time for an all-in-one wireless printer with tons of connectivity options? With Document Solutions of the Valley, you can buy, lease, or rent models that work off of your smartphone. Call 623-252-8282. Document Solutions of the Valley. Our service can't be copied.
Have you been arrested for something you didn't do? When your liberty is on the line, you need an aggressive, experienced attorney to defend your rights. Lerner Law Group is the firm you can trust with your freedom. Our criminal defense attorneys have represented thousands of clients across the state, and with our affordable payment plans, you can get the defense you need immediately. If you've been wrongly charged with a crime, Time is not on your side. Call Lerner and Rowe today for a free consultation. We're available to help you 24/7.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Need an electric charger installed or a TV mounted? Contact AZ Electrical Family at azelectricalfamily.com or call 602-577-1392. That's azelectricalfamily.com to book your free quote now. AZ Electrical Family. Power up with the best.
Get ready for double the fun on the 101. Introducing the Salt River Rewards Program at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort, the Valley's newest and best. With multiple tiers and endless benefits, we've got something for everyone. Don't miss out on the excitement. Salt River Rewards, the Valley's premier player rewards program, now at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort. 2 properties, 1 amazing club, offering limitless fun on the 101. Discover the best in the Valley at saltriverrewards.com.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture with daily use.
Grill, patio, sunset, hard to get better than that. Unless you're browsing Carvana's inventory while you soak it all in.
I could stay here forever.
Carvana's got thousands of cars under $20,000 just waiting for you. Visit Carvana to shop for cars the convenient way.
Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Now, sports gamblers, Scott Spreitzer, one of the leaders and most trusted names in the country. Nobody watches and studies games more than he does. From DocSports.com, here's Scott Spreitzer exclusively on with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910.
You're hot. So, Scott, I want to ask, how did last night's suspension affect books there in Vegas?
All bets refunded.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's got to go 55 minutes to be counted as an official game in the books, and obviously didn't get there. It was only in the third quarter. So, yep, all sides and totals go back in the pocket, just like if you pushed in the game.
Did we see a lot of activity on that game last night? First official preseason game of the year?
It was decent. You know, it's funny because I was at the book earlier in the day yesterday at one of the books, and like maybe a half hour before kickoff, I certainly saw more people at the book than you do on a normal night during the summer. That's for sure. And so people are ready for the NFL again. And I would bet there was a decent amount of action last night throughout Las Vegas.
Do you get pretty active in preseason, or you kind of stay away?
I do handicap it, guys, because
Okay.
a lot of people will say, you shouldn't be betting in preseason, all that. And like a lot of guys that I've been around for 30 years, there's times when, preseason football, you get more angles and better chances to have matchup advantages for one team over the other than you do in weeks 1 and 2 of the regular season. And if you get a good quarterback rotation against a shaky one, that's always the first thing I look for. If I get, 2 veterans with 50 starts between them in the NFL and they're playing for second string, they're playing for backup to whoever the starting quarterback is, and they're facing a team who already has their quarterback decision made. And after the first quarterback of the first 2, you've got guys that are just trying to, latch on, look good, latch on somewhere in the league. I'll usually play that team, that side. Last night they were trailing. Houston was trailing, but, they had 2 quarterbacks out there who had 92 NFL starts between the 2 of them. So it's one of those things where you look, it doesn't mean you're going to go out and win every single time, but it gives you an advantage. And I don't have a lot of preseason plays, probably average 1 or 2 a week. It's not quite the same as it used to be, because when we had one more game in preseason football, most of the coaches would have their dress rehearsal in week 3, but there was the occasional coach who would say, we're doing our dress rehearsal in week 2, and the opposing coach would still be waiting for week 3. Those were great advantages, but those days are gone, unfortunately.
Scott, it's interesting you bring that up about the backup quarterbacks, because Davis Mills and Case Keenum have got quite a few starts amongst them. Brett Rippon and Tyson Badgett, who came in last year, did a pretty good job for the Bears. But the other thing I noticed, and to your point about your philosophy, there was hardly any blitzing or stunting whatsoever. All I saw was 4-man rushes, and it was almost like 7-on-7 how accurate these guys were. No picks. You basically had Rippon had the 3 touchdown passes. It was pretty clean as far as the passing game was concerned.
Yeah, Rippon was out there like he was not even 7-on-7. How about 11-on-7?
Exactly.
I mean, he was just having fun, sitting back in the pocket. I know early in the game when Houston jumped out to a 10-0 lead, it seemed to me like they were bringing it a bit more on defense, not necessarily, bringing the extra man or blitz packages or anything like that. But there was like an extra giddy up in their step when they were trying to get after the quarterback, and Badgett was out there when that was going on, and he struggled a little bit. But I really thought that a big turning point in the game, it ended up, it didn't matter because of the weather, but it was 10-0 Houston, and the Bears had the ball around midfield, and it was a 3rd down, and they threw a pass that was fumbled around the Houston 40, and Houston looked like they were on it.
Yes.
And
yep.
I'm trying to think of his name. It was number 41 for Houston. He's celebrated. The ball is right behind him on the ground. He's looking at his sideline, and he's waving his hands, and he's celebrating and dancing. And then all of a sudden, he turns around, and there's a Chicago Bear jumping on the football. Houston recovers that at midfield. And with the way Davis Mills was playing at the time, he was out there at the time, that could have been 17-0 about 4 plays later. And then 41 later on the drive gets burned in the end zone, leaving his man wide open for a Chicago touchdown. I'm sitting there going, man, this guy wants to forget about the last drive. He might be out the door.
It's funny how you said that, Scott, because it was a tight end. He caught it, and then he fumbled it, and then he's when he eventually caught it. And you're like, how did that ball went backwards? So he jumped out of the pile, and you're right. Everybody was celebrating. In reference to preseason games, and you look at the history, the Sean McVays of the world not playing hardly any of his starters. Now, I think that might change. I think he learned a lesson a couple years ago. They did win the Super Bowl, but last year he felt he wanted to tweak that. The Chiefs, Andy Reid plays his guys a lot. He doesn't really back off. How much is that going to involve as far as handicap is concerned with knowing the head coach, who he's playing, who he's not playing? I'm like Aaron Rodgers. He's not going to play at all this preseason.
Right. Yeah, I love having coaches who, at least play the first half as though they're trying to win and trying to, instill that thought process into his players of, we're out here, they're keeping score, we're going to win. And I'll give you a really good example. When Steve Spurrier became an NFL coach with Washington, I'll never forget, like in June of that first year, reading an article where somebody asked him, hey, preseason football starts in 6 weeks or whatever it was. And he goes, are you going to, get out there and try to win games? And I will try to do Steve Spurrier's accent. Don't worry, guys. You don't have to hit the 7-second delay or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, he basically said, he goes, my daddy taught me if they're keeping score, you play to win. I mean, that was my biggest preseason play I've ever made, and they won like 38-7. So it's one of those things where you do get certain coaches who are going to try to instill that winning attitude, and against coaches who are just worried about their players getting hurt. And listen, you can say what you want about, like, for instance, Russell Wilson. Obviously, his game has declined. But when he went to Denver, brand new offense, brand new coach, and they had all the guys on offense playing a different style than they had played before, they didn't give him a single snap in preseason. He goes into week 1 of the regular season having never played with the first team in a new environment with a new playbook. I don't like coaches like that, man. It just seems like it always fails, at least in the first season that they're in their coaching position.
Scott Spreitzer joining us here, DocSports.com, Twitter @ScottWins. All right, let's talk about the men's Group C, Puerto Rico, USA, tomorrow morning at 8:15 on NBC. I got it at plus 33.5, but that was a few days ago. Where is it now, and how are you handicapping this?
Yeah, guys, it's all the way up to 35.5 in
Wow.
most books at this point. So it's just been climbing and climbing. I went against Puerto Rico the other day when they played Serbia, and Serbia knocked them off by 41. They were laying 17 in that game, so it was a nice, easy win. The problem with this team, and the problem, even though like I'd love to take the 35.5 because Team USA, they don't have to win. But Puerto Rico, remember they used to have good teams. Remember Rolando Blackman, guys
Yes.
like that, But they don't have that same kind of talent anymore, and they're small and they struggle inside. They got crushed by Serbia because USA can let up in this game. They don't have to go out and win by 40. They can win by 1. They've already advanced. I'm not thinking they're going to win by 1. But the bottom line is they've got the bigs and the depth to just pound Puerto Rico inside. So what I'm looking at, instead of the game itself, I'm looking for props And, Bam Adebayo, he had a big game against South Sudan. He had 18 points. He was 8 for 10. He was having his way in and around the blocks. And I think at over 8.5, Bam Adebayo is not a bad prop play. It's over 8.5 points. You got to lay $1.20. And we've had really good success in the Olympics with our props. We had Durant under 14.5 in the last game. He did a really nice job of going along with us. He scored 14. I won by half a point. And then today we had Dennis Schroeder from Germany to go over 18.5, and he scored 26. Real quick note about Team France. When they're playing coming up in their future game or games, what you got to do is look to see if there's a decent backcourt going against them, because France has Wemby. They've got Gobert, so they're strong in the paint. They're terrible in the backcourt. So jumped on Schroeder, cashed that ticket today. Tomorrow, I believe I'll be on Bam Adebayo over 8.5 points.
Scott, thank you as always, buddy. Have a great weekend. We can't wait for some real games to talk about. So we'll be able to do that next week. So we'll look forward to that.
I'm with you, man.
You
Take
got
care.
it. Have a good weekend. Scott Spreitzer here on Fox Sports 910. He's been coming on with us for 17, 18 years. So we appreciate him. And he's one of the best in the business. If you go to DocSports.com, they have all the bios of the guys. You look at how well he's done, and he's about 62%, 64% across the board. Doesn't sound like a lot, but you're up.
And
you're up. At the end of the day, you're up. You're up.
And even if it's preseason, there he's diving into. He's throwing stuff into the blender. He's all over the place where we're looking at this, and this. I'm going, damn.
I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I will.
Go ahead, Rob. What's to stop you?
I was 5 out of 6 yesterday.
Wow.
So I won Texans spread in first quarter. Okay. I won Texans to score 2 TD passes. I won Chicago Bears to score in the second quarter. I got voided on the overall race to 12 points. Or no, I lost the race to 12 points. I won race to 6 points for Houston. I won first score by Texans. So I did pretty well. I mean,
did what? That opening 16-play drive had you
I'm
going
all
pretty
over.
good.
Well, I did and it didn't, because my biggest bet I did, but it got voided, was Texas winning minus one and a half.
No, I get you.
Oh, right. So that was my biggest bet. So I was, I'm sorry. My two biggest bets were first quarter. I lost that because I needed them to score. I wanted Houston to score right away, but I wanted Chicago scored 2. That's where I would have won.
But technically, the weather delay helped you out because
it
it looked like the Bears were going to win that game last night.
So I would have lost that bet, but I won my other one. So I still would have been up a little bit.
So you worked out for you from that.
Yeah.
It was I thought a fairly clean game for the first preseason game.
I thought, like I said earlier, I thought the quarterbacks looked great.
They did. Well, you got to remember that these guys are veterans. I mean, they're all pretty much veterans that are playing, especially Rippon. I mean,
what are we going to see with Arizona next week with New Orleans? Their backup quarterbacks?
Yeah, Desmond Ritter versus Clayton Tune.
Ritter, yeah.
Well, that's a senior. I mean, a veteran. So I'm okay with him.
Well, Tune will probably get a lot of playing time. Yeah, they'll probably hold Kyler Murray up. Those guys. I think the second preseason game, you'll see a majority of the story. At least I would hope for a quarter. And then that third preseason game, pretty much everybody sit or maybe get a drive, because they're going to have guys. There'll be 2 weeks after that last preseason game before you play. And I think that Jonathan Gannon wants to keep the guys sharp, and he can make any adjustments. So if he does play in that second preseason game, the starters maybe I would even say a quarter. He's got a good, 2 to 3 weeks, 3 weeks to get him ready if anybody gets dinged up.
I need to get something off my chest.
Yeah.
I mentioned to you yesterday when we started the show.
Mm-hmm.
I really need you to go back to those old glasses.
Oh, they're gone.
I do not like these glasses.
Oh, these are great, Rod.
I just can't look at you. They're just like they're like bifocals.
I
can't keep a straight face.
I've had 4 people say I look much younger in these.
No, you look much older. Your nose looks bigger.
I had 3 people say the other day, "Hey, you look younger in those glasses." I've had compliments all over the
changed
place.
His glasses after 20 years, so he's the longest relationship I've ever had. We're celebrating our 20-year anniversary in September, right? It's 20.
It'd be 20 September 6th.
So you've had the same glasses all that time. Now it's like I got a new radio partner.
Just about.
I told him I didn't know he got a big pay raise because of the Oakleys.
Yeah,
Oakley's
that was
expensive.
Brand name. I remember when we got him to start. I mean, he's even wearing brand name sneaks too now.
Got my OCs there right there.
I mean, OCs?
Yeah,
they're $100.
Now we got to get Manuch on TikTok now, and he's going to be.
Oh
hip with
no, we don't need to do that.
Is that the deal? Will I be a hip happening guy to go to the TikTok?
Oh no, I don't think you have time for TikTok.
I
Do you?
don't.
I'm addicted to TikTok. I'm so bad with it.
Is it addicting?
I watch it a couple hours a day. Can't sleep. I
Really?
wake up 3 a.m. I'm on TikTok.
It seems like it's a lot of work to put.
No
stuff
work
up.
at all.
You just swipe up.
You
Except
just
you
swipe.
got the ring though. You can tap the
So
ring.
you got this ring that just kind of just sits there in my bed. And I just watch it like it's like a TV screen.
Oh man, I it's enough for me to do
Sad.
Instagram and Facebook
So
and Twitter.
sad. 56 years old watching TikTok. I got something I found that we're going to play next, which I thought was quite interesting. You're going to hear how former Arizona head coach Jed Fish and how the crazy turn of events led him to taking the Washington job. This is some great audio. We're going to do that in football at 50 coming up. We are out here at Wright Toyota, right on the corner, right on the price. Wright Toyota. Check it out. All their inventory at WrightToyota.com. It's Rock. It's Manuch. We got Jackson Shoe. This is Fox Sports 910.
Win your way to our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One. September 20th and 21st. T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas. Streaming live only on Hulu.
Starting Monday, listen for your chance to be there.
Sponsored by Redbird Farms Chicken. Turn up the flavor with Redbird Farms Chicken. Available at your local grocer. Our chicken is juicy, tender, and delicious. Just like the iHeartRadio Music Festival, our chicken hits all the right notes and brings people together. Redbird Farms Chicken. What real chicken tastes like.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the number one.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell. A huge new game room is open with foosball, pool tables, shuffleboard, darts, and Pop-A-Shot basketball.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
With 3 10-foot TV screens and dozens more big screens, you'll find every game you're looking for.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
Voted best sports bar by New Times.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
3 huge patios on the Greenbelt, all doggy friendly.
Where Dukes? Miller and McDowell. Scottsdale.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Now back to the Rock and Manuch Show, live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the selection, and always right on the price. Wright Toyota, 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale, and online at WrightToyota.com.
Let's get ready for football!
It's Football at 50, the latest top football story trending this hour. Right here with Rock and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910, iHeartRadio app.
Yeah, I think a lot of Wildcat fans down in Tucson were a little upset when Jed Fish left. Of course, he really turned that program around. They were having a lot of success, got a lot of good, great players that were coming in there. And I think they're going to have a good year this year as well. But you never really heard how it all went down. And he recently did an interview on the Big Ten radio on Sirius XM, and he kind of got into the details on the crazy turn of events that led him to take over or to take the Washington job. So we're going to play that for you right now. Jed Fisher on Sirius XM.
I mean, we had a team meeting the Monday before. Everybody was back. We were talking about we had the second longest winning streak in college football. It was Michigan and then Arizona, still is. And we were getting ready to what I thought would be go on a championship run, and talked about it on Monday. And then on Wednesday, I think Coach Saban retired. And I really didn't think much of it because the names that I thought would be candidates for that job weren't going to cause the domino that unless Kalen DeBoer went. Yeah. And I felt like if Kalen DeBoer went and they didn't promote from within at Washington, they were probably going to call. And then I had to say, is that something we wanted to do? But while that's going on, I mean, you're coaching your team, you're preparing, you're meeting with your players, you're talking about, not going in the portal and, the portal's closed at that point and why you stayed and NIL deals and all this other stuff. And then all of a sudden that Friday came and they announced Coach DeBoer, and I looked at my wife. I called my wife and I said, it's about to get real. We're going to have to make a really hard decision is my feeling right now. And, I think there are reports or other, we were the only people they offered the job to. And I said to Amber, we got to decide if we're going to take this job or not. And we got about 15 minutes to decide this. And, we just felt like it was the right move. And it was really, really hard, really emotional for our family, our team. But you have a chance to coach in the Big Ten.
You're hot.
Right now, you can't say no. Yeah.
Jed Fish, XM, Sirius XM radio, talking about how it all went down. Pretty interesting stuff. 15 minutes to make a decision.
Well, it's
crazy.
And you got to think that a lot of these coaches are going, okay, if we're successful here, what would be some of our next moves if we're going to move? Washington now being available. It's interesting how he kind of went, okay, Saban, if DeBoer goes, he's almost got kind of I call it a pre-snap look at what could happen. And he's kind of forward thinking. It's interesting how he would be that forward thinking into this is a potential. So you wonder if anybody's tipped him off, his agent or anybody like that.
Oh, I'm sure.
So, but you sit there and go, okay, I built a hell of a program at Arizona. We're going to have a chance in the Big 12 next year to, maybe go for the Big 12 championship. Versus you got a cupboard that's pretty full that DeBoer's leaving at Washington, going up there to Seattle. He's got to weigh, I think, a ton of stuff, which I think he already weighed a lot of stuff out, guys, to make that move to go to Washington to go, okay, better deal, recruiting, long run, longevity, money, all the above, NIL. He's thinking all about all that stuff to where his next move would be, which is very interesting when he made that move. And I think what's interesting on the U of A part, them getting an inkling that Jed could be moving on. They already had Brett Brennan in their crosshairs as far as if Jed Fish were to ever move on, because Brent used to coach there with Coach Tomey many, many years ago, and Brent's over there at San Jose State doing a great job at San Jose State. So it's almost as if U of A went, okay, Jed, if you leave, Brett Brennan is our guy. So we're going to go after him at San Jose State. The interesting thing is when you think about that Saturday, Rock, is there was a lot of recruits over at San Jose State and a lot of recruits at Arizona that got kind of caught up in this thing. Chuba Purdy is one of the young men that's over at San Jose State being recruited by Brett Brennan that Saturday when U of A contacted him, being Brett Brennan, and Chuba had committed to go to San Jose State with the Brett Brennan staff. Lo and behold, he finds out on Tuesday that Brett Brennan then he took the job at U of A, which left several recruits hanging out in the air to go, all right, Jed Fish is leaving. He had several guys leave U of A. Some of his recruits decommit from U of A, go to Washington. And then Brett Brennan had several of his San Jose State guys decommit and move on. And Chuba never heard back from Brett Brennan. That's when he went to Nevada.
And I have a feeling he's going to do quite well because he inherited a schedule that's very soft. Weber State, Eastern Michigan, open. Northwestern, Rutgers, home with Michigan, at Iowa, open. At Indiana, home with USC. At Penn State's a tough one. Home at UCLA, open. At Oregon. He's got 3 bye weeks.
Yeah, that front half of the schedule gets him set up for his
He'll
team.
be 1, 2, 3, 4. He'll be 4-0 with Michigan coming in, which I think Michigan's going to be down.
Yeah, you know what?
I was going to say, however, they've got 22 new starters this year for Washington. That's the thing that's going to get jet fished.
And the one thing that
these days you hear that, but these guys are all transfers. They probably played where they were before.
Well, and
it's different when you say, "Oh, okay, they're returning and they got no starters." Typically, these guys these days at those big programs played somewhere else last year. They just went to get the money.
And he had to think about that before he made the move. He had to go, okay, where do I have better upside? Is it with Fafita and T-Mac at U of A and those things, or do I go to Washington, which might be a better feel for a recruit, knowing that you may not have the guys you want. I mean, he had to think about all that, and I'm sure these guys think about this years prior to taking these jobs on.
And next hour, we're going to bring back the interview we did with Kenny Dillingham. Sadly, he lost his voice. So we caught up with him for about 10 minutes. We'll bring that back in about 3:15. He had a hell of a career at Pittsburgh State, which has always been a pretty big football town. Kevin Ray is a proud alum, the voice of the Suns. And I think I'm anxious to see how he's going to do. He has, I guess, he lost everybody. He's got 4 returning players on both sides of the ball. That's it, the lowest in the Big Sky. So he's got his work cut out for him. But it's different. That is, I still call it Division II. Yeah, it's smaller, FBS, FCS. I mean, it's different. They can't reload like Washington can.
What was it back in the, it was an NCAA Division II. You just thought out that. I think about those days.
I think it's Division II. I know it's one
but
AA.
You know what? I think what the folks at NAU saw his success at Pittsburgh State, the Gorillas, and felt if there's a guy that could build this program up. I really felt that I felt Chris Ball should still be there. I think
I do too. I do too. I mean,
and nothing against Coach Wright at all.
No. But Chris had some success.
Yes, he did, and he was building and training. He was getting guys that were at other colleges, getting them into NAU.
We're mixing some things up because we've got a couple football coaches. Jackson Rewind is going to come out of the gate at 3:00. It's Roc and Manuch from Wright Toyota here on Fox Sports 910.
Clear.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B has been sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing.
There's something that binds us all. The constant hunger to improve. The obsession with every detail. And the reward of a custom fitting taking your game to a whole new level. We're all bound by 2 words said by golfers worldwide. Schedule your fitting at Vans Golf Shops. Find your local store at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
In the fast lane of life, your fuel should keep up. Time to check out G2G protein bars, your ultimate grab-and-go meal replacement. Whether it's a workday, gym session, or navigating daily chaos, G2G has got you covered. Find them now at your local Costco in the refrigerated section, or explore all 8 fantastic flavors at G2GBar.com. Great tasting and packed with protein, so keep pace with life in the fast lane with G2G protein bars.
iHeartRadio brings the 2024 Paris Olympics straight to your car. Plug in the iHeartRadio app to your car's dashboard and listen to NBC's 24/7 live play-by-play coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics. Listen now on the totally free iHeartRadio app.
With Progressive Insurance, we make it easy to save money. When you bundle your auto policy with home, condo, or renters, you will earn a multi-policy discount. Easy to bundle, easy to save. Visit Progressive.com.
Small commitment at least 1 day a week helps reduce ground level ozone pollution and helps us all breathe easier. Avoid idling, turn off your engine when waiting in pickup lines and drive-thrus. Commit to 1 day and help keep ozone away. Visit maricopa.gov/AQ to learn how you can help.
Tune in Saturday morning from 9 to 11 for Backspin, the golf show presented by Pigs. Play your best. The Backspin boys take you inside the ropes every week with guests and great debates on the game. Backspin, the golf show on Fox Sports 910.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Broadcasting from Raffi Law Group Studios. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD3 Phoenix. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app, the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics.
Cardinals are back in the field for training camp after today. Just 3 more open practices, including tomorrow's red and white, remain on the schedule. The Diamondbacks made a series of moves prior to today's series opener with the Pirates. Among those, activating newly acquired first baseman Josh Bell and sending Pavin Smith to AAA Reno. Arizona State and Arizona now officially members of the Big 12 Conference. The football season set to roll August 31st when the Sun Devils play Wyoming and the Wildcats face New Mexico. And the Suns have agreed with guard Ty Washington on a 2-way contract. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For tonight, look for mostly clear skies. Temperatures right around 91. And then as we head into the weekend, some hot temperatures on tap. Saturday, right around 114. Sunday, 113 with clear skies. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by ChumbaCasino.com. Introducing Chumba Casino, the thrilling online social casino that's free to play. Head on over to ChumbaCasino.com now to join in on the fun. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B is sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing. Now back to the Roc and Manuch.
I mean, the first 4 you got to play.
Right on the corner, right on the selection, and always right on the price. Wright Toyota, 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale, and online at
the last 3 are could cause some chaos.
You missed this week of Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Our fine rookie Jackson Groff has you covered.
This is exactly what I've been waiting for.
Jack puts it all together. The best, the worst, and in his mind, the funniest moments from this week's shows. This is Jax's Rewind exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
You're hot.
All right. We're going to replay part of the interview we did with Kenny Dillingham in about 15 minutes, and then we'll catch up with the new head coach, Coach Wright, at NAU. But it's now time for Jack's Rewind. This is where Jax and Schubert have an opportunity to poke some fun at us, myself, Manuch, and the other guy that's not here on Fridays, Jimmy B. I'm hoping.
How dumb am I?
I'm hoping we kind of do a refresh starting in September, and we do the rewind with Jimmy B in attendance. We have to.
So
no.
So how does that impact me?
He can only work 3 days a week now, Rob. We want to
know,
push it now.
but I would love for him to try to defend himself.
Kids today just don't get it.
He can't. He won't.
I mean,
just take his medicine like we all do.
All right,
and
Jack,
move on.
Shu, the floor is yours.
All right, so let's start with Jimmy B. He had a little bit of a rough start of the week, and usually in radio, when a guest comes on, the name is on the lineup right in front of him.
Yeah.
This happened twice.
I heard this.
Yeah.
I was driving because I was off that day. And
I don't know
like,
if you heard Monday.
No, you didn't hear the first one.
Oh,
There were
this
2 of these
was
this week.
This is
He did it
Monroe?
twice.
No,
this is not Monroe.
This is Paul Pecoro.
Oh, no.
Of Gurriel's home run last night wasn't enough. 6-5 loss, the Cardinals losing to the Pirates. And that means that the Diamondbacks, pardon me, thank you. And that means that the Washington is in town, the Nationals, beginning a series with the D-backs tonight. Paul Coro is joining us. Nick Pecoro is joining us right now.
How dumb am I?
So, but you just said Paul Coro too, or Paul Pecoro.
Well,
He was saying what he said.
It was a combination of the
So,
Paul
but,
Paul
all right,
Coro and the Nick Pecoro.
I'm going to defend Jamie B on this one because Paul Coro of GCU, analyst, comes on our show quite a bit and will be coming on quite a bit this fall.
But he's not a beat writer for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
But he was a writer for the Republic many years ago.
Okay. So are you going to defend him when he says this?
To turn our attention now to basketball. And Greg Monroe, columnist for the Arizona Republic and AZ Central, is our guest. And you can follow him on X or Twitter at Saying More. That's a great handle, at Saying More. Greg, welcome to the show, pal. When'd you come up with that handle? I love that handle on Twitter.
Let it play.
Dude, my last name is Moore. Are you kidding me? You just called me Greg Monroe. I look like a power forward from Milwaukee that got traded down here and played like no games. Come on, man.
Hey, Greg, you got to forgive Jimmy B.
I love it.
He called NBA games for like about 95 years. So when he sees your prowess, he goes, "Oh, that guy's like not like Earl the Pearl, but that's that Greg Monroe guy from back in like 1965." You know,
that was Earl Monroe.
Jax, let me take it here.
Greg
I
Monroe.
said.
Earl.
So the best part about this is, and we can't play the whole thing because it's the entire interview. When the guys closed the interview, Jimmy B didn't realize that he had made the mistake, and the banter between him and Manuch at the end of the segment is wild because we have to break the news to Jimmy B that he's made the mistake, and he is confused. He is flustered. He has no idea what's gone on.
Oh my goodness!
Well, but
poor Jimmy.
But
he was
Manuch is trying to cover for him.
I did.
And Manuch didn't help him.
Still messed up.
Manuch didn't help him. And it made it worse. It was a complete disaster.
Well,
I'm glad I was off that
I was
day.
like, "Are you thinking about Earl the Pearl here, Jimmy?" Or whatever. I was trying to help him out a little
You
bit.
didn't say Earl.
I said Earl.
No, you didn't.
I said Earl Monroe. I said Earl the Pearl. I didn't say Monroe.
Should we replay the
Yeah,
clip?
play it.
Just a little bit.
No,
Manuch screws up too.
No, I do, but
No,
not in that
Manuch-
instance. I was trying to cover for him.
guys that are cool listening right now.
Yeah.
I don't mind if you change the channel because it's embarrassing what Manucci just said.
Ingredients processed.
IPA.
Ingredients processed as usual. That's all I'm going to say.
Hal.
I know, Rock. I know. Pick me.
Guy like Schubert, who's so much younger than you guys.
3 minutes.
I'm not an IPA drinker.
You've talked about IPAs that you like IPAs.
Yeah.
But you don't even know what you're drinking. You don't even know what it's called. You don't even know what it stands for.
All I know it tastes good. That's all I really care about.
Shoe, save us.
And I don't drink these either, but I believe it is Indian Pale Ale is what it stands for.
Indian Pale Ale Day.
Never.
IPA.
Never got that at all.
Yeah, I've got a little trivia question.
No, we don't have time.
Okay.
So even in a Manuch clip, Jimmy B just catches just a side swipe.
So I'm at Arena last night watching the Bears game, right?
Good.
With all my friends, and I told everybody that the old IPA thing.
Yeah.
They were like, Manuch didn't know what IPA is, or Jimmy B. They didn't know. They're dying.
And this last one, Shu, I'll let you set this one up because this actually involves yourself.
It does. We've only got a couple minutes here, so we'll try to get through as much of this. It's in 3 parts here from yesterday's show. I guess we'll start with this.
Maybe they went to the same high school in Cleveland.
Oh, I see. Okay.
James Ford Rhodes High School in Cleveland, Ohio.
Wow.
That's where Jesse Owens went to high school.
See, now that's a great piece of interesting information.
Well,
so when I offer something up like that, you guys just go, shut up.
Mine's legit. Mine's legit. Mine, you can Google what high school Jesse Owens go to.
Well, I'm so glad you said that, Rock. I'm so glad at the end of that clip you said what high school did Jesse Owens go to, because then I was able to do some research.
Hold on.
No, wait, Chris.
No, hold on.
Because if the show's gonna be fair, if I look up Jesse Owens' Wikipedia page,
Can't look at Wikipedia.
the high school you mentioned is not listed.
All right, but you believe in everything you read?
No,
on Wikipedia.
I'm just saying. You ask us on this show to check the work,
Okay, so fact check it correctly.
and I have checked the work, and so far, not good.
Google
1 minute.
Jesse Owens and Rhodes RHODES High School.
Rhodes High School.
Rhodes, okay, in Cleveland.
Tell me what pops up.
Yeah. That'll be interesting.
You could. You don't need a fact. Wikipedia, Chris, you're better than that.
So my dad and Jesse Owens both went to the same high school. Run track.
That's
okay.
That's not in the original clip.
No.
See, in the original clip, you said he
cut
went
that
to high
out.
school there.
No. You guys didn't set it up at all. You just played the part. That's like when people read headlines.
You
You got to read the whole
You
story.
said they both went to the same high
We
school.
gave you 24 seconds of context. If this was the media, you'd get 5 seconds where we would just cut that part. We gave you the whole context, and you said it twice.
And then he was moonwalking to say, well, they ran on the same track.
Yes.
He kind of retracted his statement that, well, they didn't really go to the same high school. They went to the same high school track and ran on it. So it's a good try there, Rock. Good try recovery there. Michael
I'm going
Jackson.
to find it.
Got that
I'm
moonwalk
literally.
going.
I don't know why my dad would have told me that. Jesse Owens went to the same high school. Because they both trained on the track. Because my dad ran track.
So maybe your dad just meant they
He
trained
liked
on
to
the
work
same
out
track.
on the Rhodes track.
Yes, that was it. But they
After he won the gold in
Yes.
96, or excuse me, on 96, 36.
Break.
Yeah, semantics.
All right, we're going to bring back our visit with Kenny Dillingham, head coach at Arizona State. Then it'll be Brian Wright, head coach at NAU. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
Valley traffic from the Valley Toyota Dealers Traffic Center.
Good afternoon. West Side crash. Motorcycle rider involved. Southbound Loop 101 near Thomas. Off right. Traffic still very slow back to Glendale Avenue. A wreck with entries on Indian School west of 99th Avenue. Also a crash in Chandler on Galveston west of McQueen.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
Passion sponsorship means food, healthcare, education, and more for a child in poverty. And there are thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year, and their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
Life's a sprint, and you need a quick pick-me-up. Meet G2G Protein Bars, the ultimate grab-and-go meal replacement. Whether you're hustling in the office, enjoying a day on the links, or conquering the daily grind, G2G is your perfect fuel. Score an 8-pack at your local Costco's refrigerated section, or explore.
Do you have any contact with the NAU people?
G2GBar.com.
Or maybe you want to tell them to call it like 30
bars, setting
like
the
32
pace for your energetic lifestyle.
Just because you guys are going to go to break right at like 28:30 from this interview,
Arizona,
and it's a 4-minute break. So if he calls like at 32, that's like with 2 minutes to go, and that's enough time for me to get us back.
Arizona, let's cash some tickets.
Yeah, if you want to make it 33, 34, just to make sure he's not sitting for too long, that's probably the best way to do it.
Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on righttoyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at righttoyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at righttoyota.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado feature a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. That's why they've won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant and enjoy. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of game day.
School is almost here. Creating new outfits because they grow like weeds, and Kohl's stocking their favorite styles. With the back-to-school customer appreciation event going on, I scored 30% off tees, jeans, sneakers, and more when I shopped with a Kohl's card. No card? No problem. Rewards members save 20%, and everyone else saves 15%, plus earn Kohl's cash. When it comes to back to school, you gotta go back to Kohl's. Select styles. Some exclusions apply. Offer ends August 11th. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at progressive.com. That's progressive.com.
I think for us, we're a team with a lot of guys that were misfits at their last place. Guys that went to a small school that big school didn't believe in them. Now they're here. Or they went to this big school and they were a superstar, and it didn't work out like they wanted. You know, we're a group of misfit underdogs that nobody thought was good enough at one point.
Absolutely love that. Joining us now, of course, Sun Devils head football coach Kenny Dillingham joins us now. Roc and Manuch Sports. How are we doing, Coach? What's going on, Kenny?
Well, sorry, my voice is dying on me, so I'm going to do a radio interview with no voice, but I'm going to give it a shot.
Well, you've been getting those misfits and underdogs pumped up, right? So that's where you're losing your voice.
I mean, I think we got a lot of guys who just love football, man, and it's a joy to go out and practice this year with people who just love the game, and I love it.
Coach, being a head coach, you have a lot of responsibilities, but you are a coach. You want a coach. How excited are you that practices have started? You get ready to go to Camp T. This is what you live for, right? I mean, stuff I know comes with the job, but this is what you truly love to do.
I mean, I work 8 months so I can live the dream for these 4. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. I love coaching, and these next 4 months I get to coach football. And I got the season, so I get to coach football. And I'm fired up.
Coach, when you look at last year to this year, what are some of the things, some of the wrongs you made right heading into this camp to make things more efficient as opposed to last year?
I think one is practicing in the indoor, having a new indoor turf, and then the cooling temperatures in the indoor allow us to go in there and take some off of the guys. Having a little bit more data on what our guys' practices of week to control practice structures kind of throughout camp and adapt to how the guys are working. Those are the things that we're really focused on in fall camp was pushing our guys that when we say go, that they got to trust us to go as hard as they can, and we're going to be the ones that pull the throttle. And too many times last year, people were pulling the throttle themselves. And I just firmly believe guys got to be able to take it full speed. Guys got to have that mindset that when on the field, it's go time. And it's a coach's job, and that's my goal this year, is to do a better job of bringing the guys back.
Well, now that you've added, you had the full year, then spring football, then going into your second season at camp. How important is it now you're adding more of that playbook and you're getting deeper in that syllabus that these guys are understanding in order for this team to grow?
Yeah, there's no doubt. Our communication on the field and just the knowledge of what we're trying to get accomplished is, it was a lot of years ahead of where we were last year, and it shows. You can tell the guys in summer prep actually prepped on their own, threw together, worked out together, and all that stuff and all that work is showing up early in camp. And like I told the guys, a lot of people can have 3 good days of practice. What does day 9 look like? That's what's going to be the identity of the team.
Coach Dillingham joining us here. Roc and Manuch, Fox Sports Sign 10. Coach, as you get ready for Camp D, I know so many Sun Devil fans love the fact that the tradition is continuing. How are there challenges because you're in such a routine to pick up and go up there?
Oh, for sure. And I think that's the best part about it is it's adversity. It's different. And guys and the coaches, we sleep on essentially. I sleep on a couch or on the ground. We have a snore room for the coaches. All the coaches snore, up in one room, together. And technology isn't good up there. You don't have your phones. It's just so different than how you live your daily life, and how comfortable people get to live nowadays, especially athletes, our coaches. Is usually when you leave the football complex, you're in some sort of comfort, and Camp T is uncomfortable. Camp T, you're only with your teammates. Camp T, your phone doesn't work, and all of that stuff is awesome, and all that adversity is awesome. That's really the number one goal for this team this year is respond to adversity better. We got to respond, and I think it's great.
I can almost see the sayings all over the place. Embrace the challenge. Buy into the process. All the things you put out there, Kenny. But what are the goals you and your staff want to come away with when you leave Tontozona on the 10th?
Yeah, I want a closer football team. I want a football team that gets to know each other on a deeper level. They understand the why. You understand that the 3 technique inside of you, and I'm the 2-eye, the nose guard, and we're running a twist game. And I look at that dude and I'm like, man, I know why that dude does this. Like, I'm not going to let him down because I know about him. I have a relationship with him. And I think that's the one thing that nowadays in college athletics and with the transfer portal and the change, we somewhat lose those relationships. And those relationships are what make football so great. Those relationships are what make sports so great. And I hope we build upon those relationships when we're up there and we're around our campfires, and when we're hiking the mountain, and when the kids are in the river floating and all of that stuff. I want to really embrace that.
I can almost see it somewhat similar to Remember the Titans when Denzel Washington's character pretty much told each guy to find out something about each one of your bunkmates or roommates or whatever that to report back. I kind of see that kind of scenario there, Coach.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's kind of the vision of going up there and getting away. Is it's just us.
Coach, I saw that you're utilizing EA Sports College Football 25. How are you implying that? How are you using that with the players?
Yeah, well, we have it set up in about 6 different rooms. We have plays that we call that create their own playbooks and put them in there. No, nobody else can get them, which I've been hit up by a bunch of people. But to be honest, right now, not many people are playing it. And I think that's the best part is we're focused on football. When throughout the day, everybody's day, when you're a college athlete, there's going to be downtime. And when they have downtime, yeah, I would love for them to go compete in something. If that's a video game, it's a video game. But when it's camp, you don't have time. Like, if you're taking care of your body right, you don't have time. And I think it's been a pleasant surprise that all that's still available. But I don't see people on the games. I see people in the cold tubs. I see people in the training room. I see people that are going and stretching in between periods or in between sections of the day. I see people putting in the work, and that's what motivates and inspires me about our guys. Is these guys want it.
Coach, your voice is really, we feel terrible. We were so appreciative you took some time. Thank you. We'll let you go. We need you to save your voice for the student athletes. So thanks so much for a few minutes, Coach. Hopefully catch up with you before the season starts.
I appreciate y'all having me. Y'all have a great day, and we'll probably be back on when the season starts or sometime before then.
You got it, Coach Kenny Dillingham. He's lost his
Poor
voice.
guy.
I'm feeling terrible. You know, we should have maybe rescheduled that.
Well, you never know because he's coming off. They have their morning practices.
I know, but he
Kenny
sounds like he needs some lozenges, some hot tea, some honey.
Would make whatever they're gonna. He's talking 24/7 out there. So you're gonna get him one way or the other, whether it's at 2:00 or 4 or 5. He's going to be
so bad.
You wouldn't want that any other way, though.
No, you wouldn't. That's Kenny Dillingham, man.
That's
awesome.
the typical college football coach.
The fact that 8 months he works
to
fulfill his dream.
Absolutely.
I'm just such a fan. I want him to have so much success. And just a little programming note: we'll have Charlie Regal, the assistant head coach, on every Thursday during the season, like we did last year, thanks to our friends at Crest Insurance. So I'm excited to get this season underway, and you hope that they could be a wild card. The Big 12, all the press have them finishing last, but they have a tough schedule. They open up Wyoming and then Mississippi State, then they're on the road back to back, Texas State, Texas Tech. They get a bye, then they got Kansas at home, and then they have Utah at home, then they're at Cincy, then another bye, then they're at Oklahoma State. UCF comes here, at Kansas State, home BYU, and then they end up finishing the season down in Tucson.
There's no weak teams when you look at that schedule per se. Even Wyoming, look at the year that they had last year. I mean, they had a heck of a year, and you got Mississippi State coming in. You got Lane and that team from
Summer Playcation. From a refreshing $139 a night with exclusive spa and cabana specials, $25 in free slot play, and no resort fee for Arizona residents. Plus, amazing deals at Talking Stick Entertainment District, including Talking Stick Golf Club, Octane Raceway, Odyssey Aquarium, and so much more. Summer Playcation through September 30th at Talking Stick Resort.
Life's a sprint. Meet G2G protein bars. Grab and go fuel for the office, links, and daily grind. Score an 8-pack at Costco or explore flavors at G2GBar.com. Quick, delicious, power-packed G2G protein bars. Setting your pace.
There's something that binds us all. The constant hunger to improve. The obsession with every detail. And the reward. WorldwideGolf.com. Get there.
Upper Crust Pizza and Patio Wine Bar on the southeast corner of Cave Creek and the 101. Happy hour 7 days a week, 4 to 7, with $5.50 house wines and well drinks, $4.75 drafts, plus tons of food specials. Upper Crust Pizza and Patio Wine Bar.
Crest Insurance is about more than providing coverage. It's about creating your safety net. We offer access to a national network of trusted carriers. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, we're here to help with a personal touch that's close to home. With Crest, you're not only protecting what matters most, but also helping to build stronger, more resilient communities. Crest Insurance, coverage you can trust, service you can count on.
I'm Tiffany, founder of Harlem Pilates. When I couldn't find Pilates in my neighborhood, I started a studio from my studio apartment. Chase Inc. helped me grow from 1 Pilates studio to 3. Because when you start small, you're going to need some big help.
With the Chase Inc. Business Cash Card, you can earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Sarah Spain with iHeart Women's Sports, presented by Capital One. The U.S. women's soccer team faced Japan in the Olympic quarterfinals at 9 a.m. Eastern on Saturday. Entering the Olympics, the U.S. has a 31-1-8 record against Japan, the one loss in 40 matches coming in a friendly back in 2012. But Japan also won the 2011 World Cup final over the U.S.
I threw in one little PSA spot to maybe buy us some time to see if I can get them before we come back.
As a match to remember. For more
But
women's
nothing
sports
yet.
stories, subscribe to Good Game with Sarah Spain on iHeart Podcasts.
With the Venture Card from Capital One, you earn unlimited 2x miles on every purchase. Plus, earn unlimited 5x miles on hotels and rental cars booked through Capital One Travel. Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Yeah, salad on Saturday, fruit on Friday, bubble Thursday, water Wednesday, touch your toes Tuesday, let's move Monday, sparkles next Sunday.
60 minutes of physical activity a day and eating well can help get your child healthy. So keep them active and eating well every day. Get ideas.
All right, you're going to come back clean. I'll let you know if I get them.
.gov. That's letsmove.gov. A message from USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
You're hot.
Tomorrow, Cardinals red and white practice. You're pretty excited about it, Manuch?
You know what? If they were actually scrimmaging like they used to, I think it'd be nice to go out there and see the ones versus the twos and the vice versa as far as that's concerned. But they're just pretty much I call it a scrimmage, a faux scrimmage. They pretty much get after it. They don't really tackle or hit per se.
There were nearly 50,000 fans in attendance yesterday at the Philadelphia Eagles only public practice.
50,000?
Yes, on a Thursday.
Oh my goodness.
I think they're pretty excited about their team this year.
Well, and I think there are a lot of folks that probably go back there on vacation. A lot of Eagles fans and headed back there, get out of the. Well, I know it's been pretty hot back there.
Why would you go? You don't go back to Philly for vacation.
A lot of folks that do. I know some people that have gone back.
Name one.
Well, they're from that area, so they're from out here. They go back there. And they want to watch the Phillies, want to watch the Eagles practices.
Like what I do.
Well, you do, and I know a couple other folks from Philadelphia like to go back there because they don't get a chance to go back during the
damn
season.
humid.
Well, yeah, and you guys, the heat wave has been pretty much,
it's hot everywhere. Isn't it? except up at NAU, right?
Yeah, and we're going to be pushing temperatures close to 114 again this weekend as well. So
So NAU opened up their camp under a brand new head coach who had an extremely successful run at Pittsburgh State. He went 33-8 in 4 seasons. He had some stops at Youngstown State, Montana State. We now are joined by head coach Brian Wright from the Lumberjacks. How you doing, Coach? Roc with Manuch. Good to have you with you. How you doing?
We're doing great. Thanks for having us.
No, of course, always. And let's start with the fact that you were basically left with not much, and you had this transfer portal. I saw that you lost like 15 players. You only have 4 returning starters on each side of the ball, lowest in the Big Sky. Has it been nonstop for you since you signed to kind of fill this roster?
Yeah, it really has. I think we took a day off over spring break, but since December 3rd, when we showed up, it really has been
nonstop.
We've had a roster, turnover, and so we recruited like crazy there at that mid-year in that first signing period, and then again that second signing period, and really ever since then, really been working to develop the guys and put a new system in and really a new way of life for these guys.
Coach, it's a process, as you know. You've been doing this a long time. What is your biggest goal in year one?
Well, not to give you coach speak, but I think it's just to maximize our potential. That, and then, I'll speak on the offensive side. We really found some guys that,